Welcome, Laughing Crew, guys, gals, ghouls, friends, fiends, foes, whoever may be listening beyond the Omniverse tonight. Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we climb aboard the mothership and soar above the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. I'm your host, TessaTNT, and we are broadcasting live from the Mile High Clubhouse tonight. I was about to say if you're listening live, but Spreaker's not letting us listen live anymore, so it's a YouTube thing. If you're watching live, you're watching us on YouTube. Hopefully, here in the near future, I can get us on some other outlets, but for now, this is what we got. This is what we are working with. So thank you so much for joining me. It's an honor to have you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. And as I said before, thank you so much for coming to hang out with me tonight. All right, so if you want to listen in your free time, whether you're working it or working out, feel free to tune in wherever you listen to your podcasts, and you can hang out with me even more. We have so much fun together. All right, so on tonight's show, there's something in my eye. I see it. It's a hair. I think I got it. There it is. Apologies. And my microphone is like way up here, but it won't stay. Stay, I say. Oh. I don't know what to do. I'm going to accidentally muted myself too. Okay, hopefully this works better. I just want it to stay up there. Stay, please stay. All right, so tonight it's Trippy TikToks with me, TessaTNT. So we're gonna jump on in there, check out these TikToks. Let me fix this camera a little bit. All right. More better butter. Okay, so let me go ahead and open this up. So I don't know how long this one is. So I'm going to open up and see. Make sure I'm on the right size. It appears so. And I should be able to see how long it is once I start it, I believe.
Time. It feels less like a distant myth and more like a countdown already underway. Before we go any further, I must remind you, stay with me through this journey, because what you're about to hear might change the way you look at the months ahead. Those who are searching for answers, and subscribe to the Interconnected Zone before you get totally lost in the mystery we're about to unfold. And if you feel deeply connected to the truths we uncover here, consider becoming a channel member. You'll find a community that is also asking the same haunting questions you are. Edgar Casey was born in 1877 in Kentucky, a simple farm boy who could barely finish school. Yet, from an early age, strange signs followed him. He claimed to see spirits, he spoke of visions, and eventually he discovered that when he entered a deep trance, he could answer questions that went far beyond his conscious knowledge. He was asked about medicine, illnesses, lost objects, and eventually even prophecies about the future of the world. By the time of his death in 1945, Casey had given over 14,000 recorded readings. Among those thousands of readings, certain ones stand out because they were not about an individual seeking healing, but about the future of humanity itself. Casey described global shifts, upheavals, and a transformation that would reshape the Earth itself. And many researchers have noted several of his most controversial predictions seem to cluster around the first quarter of the 21st century. When Casey spoke of the final upheavals, he described something far larger than a single disaster. He suggested that humanity was entering a period of acceleration, where natural, social, and spiritual changes would converge all at once. He warned of an Earth that would shake at its very foundations, not only through earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, but through shifts in consciousness. His most haunting statement was that the Earth will be broken up in the western portion of America. The greater portion of Japan must go into the sea. The upper portion of Europe will be changed in the twinkling of an eye. These were not poetic metaphors, but blunt descriptions. And when he was asked for a time frame, he indicated that these changes would come in the period from 1958 to 1998. But he also added something overlooked. He said they would begin then, not end. The completion, he warned, was a process. And that process may be reaching its climax now, in the years around 2025.
Not 2025. All right, so if you're interested in checking this page out, it's the .interconnected for those of you who cannot see.
Wait till you hear what I saw in my bed last night.
Oh no.
The rest of the story.
I love Paul Harvey.
It was such a beautiful dream, but little Phoebe Ann Moses was not to remember it. The young servant girl had been mending one of the master's stockings, and yet, weary from a long day's chores, she had fallen asleep, sitting with the stocking in her lap. And that's when the heavy cane came down on her back and awakened her in agony from that beautiful dream. The wielder of the weapon was the mistress of the house, a Mrs. Wolfe. Cold, relentless, a woman whose north wind presence could chill the warmest summer day. Life on that West Ohio farm was hard for all of them, Mrs. Wolfe reasoned. Why should it not be particularly hard for the servant girl who was receiving the handsome sum of 50 cents a week for her services? I hasten to add that little Phoebe Ann did her very best to please the Wolfe family. Her drudgery began at 4 every morning, whereupon she prepared a huge breakfast of ham and fried potatoes, cornmeal mush for the farmer and his wife. Her own breakfast consisted of the leftovers. Sometimes there were none. Immediately afterward, Phoebe Ann hurried to the barn to milk the cows, then back to the kitchen to strain the milk. There were calves and pigs to feed. The Wolfe's baby required constant care, 2 more enormous meals to prepare, and so exhausted was the little servant girl by nightfall that she could scarcely stay awake to mend the family's clothing. It ought all to have been so different. But when Phoebe Ann's father had died, her mother, herself working day and night as a district nurse, her mother was compelled to leave the girl in an orphanage, and the orphanage had assigned the child to the Wolfe farm. The Wolfes had assured Phoebe Ann's mother that her little girl was happy and well-fed and attending school regularly, none of which was true.
Yeah.
In fact, her education was so lacking that the youngster, fully 11 years old, was nevertheless unable even to write to her mother and to tell her what was wrong. And, of course, Mrs. Wolfe intercepted all of the letters from home and destroyed those. Thus was Phoebe Ann isolated on the Wolfe farm and forced to endure increasing hardships, including more frequent and more severe beatings. Until that one night. And that was the night I've described when the servant girl was repairing stockings, when she fell irresistibly asleep, and when she was brutally awakened from her dreams. That night, the child decided to run away. And she did the following day. Reaching a nearby town, Phoebe Ann borrowed enough for a train ticket, eventually found her mother, from whom she would not be parted again. But all of the rest of her life, Phoebe Ann Moses would remember her cruel treatment on the Wolf Farm, and she would seek in any and every way she could to make the lives of all needy children a little more full, a little more warm, a little better.
Yes, I like
Phoebe
that.
Ann was to become famous in her lifetime. And although she married happily, she was to have no children of her own. Nonetheless, thanks to a fortune accrued from her successful career as a performer, over the years she would support some 18 orphan girls, and she would contribute generously to the care of countless others. And all your life you've thought of her only as a rodeo act.
Oh,
A
Annie
trick-riding
Oakley?
sharpshooter, little more.
Oh,
But now you've met the abused servant girl in whose western sky-size heart there would one day be room for everyone. Phoebe Ann Moses, whom you know as Annie Oakley.
that's awesome.
Only now you know the rest of the story.
Indeed,
The
indeed.
rest of the story.
Thank you, Paul Harvey.
It was such a...
I don't do makeup, but I could not resist trying this. I've seen it all over my FYP.
Still to come. God damn it.
I just have to say that dog was really strong for his size, and look at this poor guy.
Don't even fucking talk to me.
Yeah, I know.
Don't even fucking Jake.
Number 2. Why was your hand
Not handle.
Oh shit! What in the
Bring me downstairs.
Shut up! No!
Oh.
What if I told you that the most documented psychic in history, Edgar Cayce, revealed that your soul existed billions of years before your first physical birth? The truth behind your divine origin is more mind-blowing than anything you've ever imagined. Get ready to discover the exact moment your soul was born, why you volunteered for the greatest spiritual experiment in cosmic history, and how you became trapped in the material world. According to
Are we trapped really? I don't know, but I was taught that we actually sign a soul contract. Like, we saw our life before it happened. We saw who we'd be with, what would happen. We saw everything, even if we were dead upon birth, or even if we were killed as little babies or children, or if we had the most horrific life. And people actually signed a soul document for this. And I did not learn this from Mr. Edgar Cayce, but to me, it's just intriguing. Yes, I do believe it's possible that our souls are billions of years old, and I don't think this is my first rodeo, but that's just because so many things I know. How do I know? I don't know. I just do. But yeah, the more I hear about this Mr. Edgar Cayce, the more intrigued I am, the more I want to know.
Cayce's 14,000 documented trance sessions, your soul's creation is linked to the Akashic Records, a cosmic library that holds the complete history of every soul's journey. Your origin story is so profound that it shatters every known religion's creation myth. In fact, Cayce revealed that souls were created in waves, emanating from the mind of God, in massive cosmic bursts. And here's the kicker. You didn't just appear randomly. You were part of a soul family, a group of divine beings created together to experience creation in unique ways. But the real kicker, you weren't created just to worship or exist in a heavenly realm. You were created to be a co-creator with God, to explore every form of consciousness and experience life in ways God could never do alone. Yes, you are God in miniature, equipped with unlimited creative potential.
We are all
Sounds
God.
like a fantasy? It's not. It's what Casey
We have
discovered
the light
about
within
herself.
us.
Then things take a dramatic turn. Casey's revelations go on to explain how your soul volunteered to enter the most dense form of matter, the material world, as part of a cosmic experiment. You chose to forget your divine nature temporarily to have the human experience. This wasn't a punishment, but an invitation to the greatest adventure in the universe. And here's where it gets truly mind-bending. As souls began experimenting with different forms of consciousness, some got lost, forgetting their divine origin, leading to reincarnation. But this wasn't a trap. It was a rescue mission, allowing earthbound souls to remember their true nature. What does this mean for you? It means that every experience you're going through right now, the challenges, the growth, the
Everything happens for a reason.
are all part of the grand plan. You're not a victim of life. You're the divine author of your own journey, exploring consciousness in a temporary human form. This revelation will change everything you think you know about your existence and your purpose. Stay with me, because this cosmic adventure is far from over. What if I told you?
And it's like you can't control what happens to you. You can control how you react to it or don't.
Jim Carrey's 62nd birthday party of November of 2024 was titled The Last Supper, by the group, of course.
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot to unpack in this picture. For one, I found it very, very interesting that Jim Carrey was wearing a Saturn shirt, while Seth Green was wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt. What is he doing to his eye? A lot of people would say, I would do anything to be in this room with this group of guys. This is some of Hollywood's most famous comedians. However, have we been fooled by the characters they play on and off screen? Let's take Jim Carrey, for example.
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters.
And why would any Hollywood celebrity create a character off screen for the public?
Because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character.
Do any of you remember Catriona White? She took her own life in 2015 after being Jim Carrey's on and off girlfriend of 3 years. Catriona wrote a letter 2 years prior to taking her own life, claiming that Jim Carrey introduced her to various things, including mental abuse, disease, substances, bad atmospheres, you name it. Catriona's mother and her ex-husband both tried to take Jim Carrey to court for the alleged wrongful death of Catriona. However, by February of 2018, the case was thrown out, and life went on for everyone. Well, except for Catriona. And let's not forget the video he made for Emma Stone when she was just 22 years old, and Jim Carrey was well over 40.
And every day for the rest of your life, you would thank God that I was the appropriate age for you.
Wow.
So does the world only love the characters they play on and off screen? Do we ever see who they really are? And like I said previously, there's a lot to unpack in this picture. I thought Jim Carrey was leaving the industry, and now it's looking like he's even deeper in. Let's kind of break down who the heck is at Jim Carrey's 62nd birthday party. Jim Carrey's 62nd birthday party.
Man, this is epic. If you are not on YouTube, you gotta check it out. This guy is going to be carving this huge ace log with a chainsaw. Wow. But it's hard enough with, you know, a sharp tool and such. You're gonna do it with a chainsaw? Like, that is master technique, I'm telling you. We have a bunch of these up at Viacito. Oh, it looks like he's live now, but we're not going to go there. But anywho's, in Viacito, this guy, not this particular guy, but a guy with a chainsaw, took a bunch of trees that were damaged or harmed or whatever during this Missionary Ridge fire and carved it out. Pretty dang cool.
Larry,
Larry,
you're in the shot.
Larry, get out of the frame. Damn it, Larry.
No, don't put your coffee down.
Larry.
Would they buy that it's space coffee? Can you use a space coaster or something? You guys, this is amazing. They have found life on Mars. I am not even kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Legit life on Mars. Look. A fly. A fly on Mars. Can we send more there? So this astronaut's wire completely malfunctions, and they quickly cut away before anything bad happens. I'll show it again.
Something bad gonna happen. Oh no!
So these are fake, and again, this is just for entertainment purposes only. Someone missed a reflection in the edit.
So my question is, how can you operate a lid on the outside of the space station by manipulating something mechanical on the inside of the space station without losing air pressure?
It's called real good engineering.
Oh, okay. Not scuttlebutt or deception.
A tortilla? A massive tortilla?
Thank goodness we got that massive tortilla to shut us in. Yeah, about that.
So this one is uniquely interesting. The man upside down looks to be a little stuck, and if you notice, can't point as far as that, but look at his shirt.
Yes.
And it happens right when this guy presses a button on the wall. And then when the other guy goes by, he seems to release something behind him. Guys, that is so awesome about the space shuttle launch. It's great. But has anyone seen my pet rat anywhere? His name's Hugh Jackman.
Hey, Hugh!
No?
Hugh!
Now they're using
He's done
something
it
that's
again.
attached to a cord, and it gets stuck on something behind her. I mean, if it was a line, it'd be hard to maneuver it, but what is it getting stuck on? Larry, you're in the shot. Larry.
If you're thinking about starting a business.
Now, the rest of the story. Americans, y'all have heard a lot of baloney about the hot dog. It's time you heard the rest of the story. What was the origin of the hot dog? Some of the most fascinating research performed during the preparation of these rest of the story broadcasts ends up with a dead end. All of the research material ends up in the wastebasket. It almost happened when we set out to discover the origin of the hot dog, but it didn't. Now, you could time travel 9 centuries BC and discover sausages. Homer mentions them in his Odyssey. But what was the origin of the hot dog? And we know about the Frankfurter. Scholars direct our attention to a butcher named Johann Lahner, who lived in Coburg, Franconia during the late 17th century. He invented a wurst of sorts, which became popular in his hometown, but the little sausages did not achieve wide recognition, some historians say, until Lahner promoted it among his fellow butchers in Frankfurt on Main, Germany. By mid-19th century, the citizens of Frankfurt had claimed the coarsely ground, highly seasoned Frankfurter as their own. Well, that takes care of the Frankfurter. What about the hot dog? We know about the Wiener. Wienerwurst simply means Vienna sausage, created in Vienna, Austria, about 1852. The Wiener, according to old world sausage makers, is finely ground, mildly seasoned, a balanced combination of beef and pork and veal. But what was the origin of the hot dog? We're not talking about the so-called Coney Island. That was a Frankfurter in a roll introduced 1865 at a beer garden in Coney Island, New York. The man credited with this commercial introduction was a Frankfurt-born butcher named Charles Feltman, and he sold his product roll and all for 10 cents. He called them Frankfurters. We called them Coney Islands. Nobody called them hot dogs. You may have heard the story about a St. Louis peddler named Feuchtwanger, a concessionaire at the Louisiana Purchase Exposition in 1904. He sold hot Wienerwurst at the time, and the sausage was so hot that he offered white gloves to his patrons to prevent their hands from being scalded. When the gloves began disappearing, Feuchtwanger consulted his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law was a baker, and the result of their collaboration was an elongated bun designed to encompass wiener sausage. But what was the origin of the hot dog? In 1905, a concessionaire named Harry Stevens sold hot wienerwurst at New York's Polo Grounds. He called them red-hot Dachshund sausages because he thought they resembled long, round Dachshund dogs. But you don't call them Dachshunds. For this reason, during that year, a sports columnist, Tad Dorgan, was present at the grounds attending a football game, a sports writer, and he was intrigued by Stevens' red-hot Dachshund sausages. Those hot Dachshund sausages. And sports writer Dorgan decided to create a cartoon for his newspaper, a cartoon about a talking sausage. But there was just one problem. Tad Dorgan, the sports writer, did not know how to spell Dachshund. Really now? So in order to meet his newspaper's deadline, Tad quickly captioned his cartoon character, instead of hot Dachshund, hot dog, and that was the origin of the hot dog. Finally,
hot dog,
we
hot
know
diggity dog.
the rest of the story.
Finally.
Now,
oh my gosh.
Here's why home equity loans are more attractive.
We just had the creepiest experience at the library with me and my kids in the car right now, getting ready to go to the police station to make an official report. So everybody that says, like, make sure you report this, like, I'm already on that. You hear all the time, like, parents, like, especially moms that are alone with a lot of kids like me, always being on alert, like people preying on your distractions. So we go up to the library. Now, mind you, we're new here. I have all my girls with me, the baby included, and the library's like dead. There's like hardly anybody in there. There was one other mom with a kid, and I see this woman in there, and really tall. She had a mask on, like a COVID mask. She did look a little weird, and she had a tag around her neck. So
she looked
I
official.
thought she was a worker. Like, I literally was like, oh, that's nice. Like, maybe this library like hires special needs people. Like, that was my thought. Now, mind you, we are in the children's section. There's like little round tables. I'm sitting at a table writing down the books that we're looking for. The baby's on the floor kind of crawling around. My oldest daughter was kind of like following her around. My middle two are like reading books in their little nook. We're all like very close to each other. And at some point I stand up to go start looking for one of the books that the girls wanted. And I'm like, you know, kneeling down, like looking at the numbers on the spines of the books. And, this man, this shorter man, actually, no, the woman came up to me first. Hold on. I have a big Yeti bag. I have videos of it on here, like a big, like Yeti bag that I carry everything in. This woman, the woman that I'm talking about with the tag, who I thought worked there, she comes up to me and, like even creepier up close, like one eye is like not focusing, whatever. Anyways, and she's like, oh, like, I love that bag. Like, where did you get that bag? And I'm trying to explain to her where I got it or whatever, still keeping my eye on the kids. It's just like what I do naturally. And like, as we're talking about the Yeti bag, this man comes up, this older gentleman, short man. I got a picture of them, but I'll get to that. And he's got like a really thick, what I thought was a New York accent. And he's like interrupting the woman to like guess where I'm from? Guess where I'm from? I know everybody around here. I've lived here 20 years. He was like trying to be funny and nice. And like people around here, like, it's a small town. Like, a lot of the older people are so friendly, almost like in an annoying way, because they're just happy to have somebody to talk to. They're very family oriented, and it's a different world here than what I'm used to. So the man is like kind of annoying, because I'm like, why is he like interrupting her like this? Like, I didn't know, like, I thought she was a worker, right? So I'm holding my baby, my 8-month-old. And the woman's like telling me how like she could never have kids, and like, oh, like your girl, like she was like, your baby's beautiful. Like, I could never have kids, but I had nieces. And like, I'm thinking like this woman is just like kind of special needs again. And then, but the man is like kind of behind her, still talking and like in that thick accent and like wanting me to see his tattoos. And I was getting overwhelmed because I'm like, hold on, like, you're talking to me. And then all of a sudden the woman is like, oh, can I hold her? Meaning my baby. No. And Usually my baby freaks out and screams when anybody even gets near her. And because I'm like, you know, we're in a different world here, people are really friendly or whatever, I was like, you can try, but she's probably going to freak out. This is my mistake. I know, everybody, this is my mistake, and I will always forever feel guilty about this. So I'm like handing the baby over to her, but mind you, I am like next to this woman. We are shoulder to shoulder. And she's holding the baby, bouncing her, talking to her, and my baby's not crying. I wish she would, but she wasn't. And like, the man is still behind her, and he's like, yeah, I've been here 20 years. I met my wife here, and he's pointing to her. And then it dawns on me, this is a husband and wife situation. That was weird. I thought the lady worked here. She had did I say she had a tag on, like a necklace with like a tag at the bottom? She just looked like a worker. And so she's holding my baby, and I'm like, whatever, like, this is kind of weird, but whatever, we're talking. And then all of a sudden she's like, do you want to go bye-bye? Do you want to go bye-bye with me to Walmart?
No,
I grabbed my baby so fast. And I didn't start flipping out yet. I was just like, no, she needs to eat. And I'm pulling her back. And the woman, she wasn't like resisting, but she also wasn't like, oh, here you go. Like, it was like a weird thing. But again, I'm like, this woman's like special needs. Like, something's wrong with this woman. But the man is behind her still, like, talking or whatever he was doing, trying to distract me. I don't know. So I'm holding Magnolia, my baby, and I'm like, okay, like, bye. And I'm like, oh, hold on, back up. The woman kept saying he as she's holding Magnolia when I clearly, and I was like, oh, it's actually a girl. I said, all of them are girls. People think it's funny that I have all girls. And the man's like, oh, where are all the others? And I like, luckily they were like over on another shelf somewhere. Like I could see, whatever, that's beside the point. So it gets weirder. Hold on. The man's like, come on, honey. Like, we gotta go. They leave. And I'm like, holy shit. Another true worker, she's like a young mom like me, was kneeling down on the other bookshelf. I had seen her earlier, but she was there during this whole conversation and she couldn't see us. She didn't have line of sight, but she could hear everything. I went over to her and I knelt down, and before I could even get the words out, she was like, was that weird for you? And I said, yeah. Does she work here? Because remember, I still thought she was a worker. This is what pisses me off. Like, I don't know. Even if she was a worker, I should have never let her hold my baby. I know. But,
just trying to be nice.
So Holly
to
is the name of the worker who's on the floor talking to me. And she was like, I've never seen that woman before. And then it dawns on me, she doesn't fucking work here. I'm an idiot. And by the way, I had gotten all my girls, and I'm like, everybody sit at this table right here. They're sitting at the table right next to me. I got the baby in my hands, and I'm talking to Holly, the worker, and she agrees. She was like, that was so weird. She goes, I am so glad you did what you did. And I'm trying to tell Holly, like, I'm crying, and I'm like, I'm new to the small town feeling. I'm used to the big cities where nobody like is nice and nobody talks. Like, I know the older people here, like, I'm trying to toe the line between like not being disrespectful, but also like, whatever. I'm trying to mesh in with the community, but like, I don't know. Anyways, I'm telling her, and she was like, no, that was weird, honey. So I'm sitting, so a little bit of time passes. I'm sitting at the table with the girls. I'm keeping them at the table with me. I'm not letting them go shop for bugs. I'm finishing my little list. I'm like still freaked out. And then all of a sudden they walk back into the library.
Are you serious?
And they sit down in these two seats, probably 40 feet away from us. And they're just staring at us. They're just they're just staring at us. And I got my phone out. I immediately took a picture of them. I went up to Holly, who was still working on the shelf. And I said, Holly, they just walked back in. I said, I'm getting my girls and I'm leaving. If they get up when I walk out these doors, I need you to just scream. I need you to whatever. They walk back in. They're sitting there staring at us. I got the picture of them. Woman did not have the mask on her face. She pulled it down and I got the picture. Thank God. So anyways, Holly was like, you know what, honey, I'm just going to walk you out. I love you, Holly, if you're listening to this. Cherokee County, North Carolina. Which I'm getting ready to go to the police station. I think I already said that. Anyways, so I get all my girls. I'm shaking. I got the baby strapped into the stroller. I got everybody's holding my hand. We're walking out. I get all the girls strapped in. I lock the car and I'm just standing out there talking to Holly. And I'm telling her, I'm like, what is the deal? Like, what is the deal with this place? Like, should I not be bringing my kids here anymore? Like, what? And she goes, she's lived here a very long time. She said, no, this is safe. We have moms and kids come in this library all the time. It's usually teeming with kids and moms, a lot of homeschool families like us. She goes, I've never seen those people before. The only thing I can think of is there is a homeless shelter down the road. And sometimes we will get homeless people in here. They just want the AC or whatever. None of them have ever caused problems. As a matter of fact, they know that if they do cause problems, they're not allowed back in. So they're very, very nice. She goes, we don't know if they're homeless. We don't know anything about these people. Which is what scares me because like, whatever, that's beside the point. So Holly is like assuring me like, no, this is safe. Like, this is like not a normal situation. I said, Holly, please go back in there. There's another mom in there with that young girl. Like, please, I'm going to the police station right now. So anyways, I call my husband on the way home, crying, screaming, freaking out. And then, so he was like, come home first, calm down. And then now I'm going to the police station. So anyways, moms, I'm going to let y'all know how it goes. I know I'm rambling here and I'm sorry this is so long, but like be vigilant, be aware. Scrambled. And we are never, I know Holly said like this library is great, small families, whatever. Well, there's another library in the other town adjacent to us that we will be using instead. We just had the.
All right. I don't know if you've been feeling it, but we just went through one of the biggest timeline collapses and shifts since 2012. Remember when everyone all of a sudden started to get these weird Mandela effects like Fruit Loops or Febreze or Berenstein versus Berenstein Bears, or Luke, I am your father versus No, I am your father? We just went through that just this past week.
Shazam.
If you've been suffering with headaches, body aches, a lot of nausea, even a little bit of dizziness or vertigo, most likely you were feeling it in your body, and that probably means that you're an extra sensitive individual. Of course, we've also been having an uptick of crazy, insane visual dreams, as well as psychic attacks. This is all a part of the shift that we're experiencing right now. Now, apparently we got... All right.
Can't leave that
I don't know if you've been
wet.
feeling it, but...
Smaller appetite with GLP-1. Here, and you in my sight line, I taste.
So it's one thing to go across a suspension bridge in a vehicle, but walking, count me out. This right here is the Royal George Bridge in Colorado, America's tallest suspension bridge that you can walk across this motherfucker. Even though this motherfucker is almost 1,000 feet above the Arkansas River, they still warn motherfuckers to not try to fish.
Okay, so I'm originally from Arkansas, and what trips me out is in Arkansas, there's the Colorado River. In Colorado, there's the Arkansas River. What? It's trippy to me.
And not to mention, but the Royal George train rides underneath this motherfucker. You literally have to be a special kind of motherfucker to want to walk across this motherfucker. And the sights you see when you look down, oh my God, count me out. If it's a windy day, I wouldn't even think about walking across this motherfucker. And if you a motherfucker that's afraid of heights, then this bridge is not for you. And don't worry about the wood on the bridge, because it's been there for a long time. Now, if you think I'm going to walk across this motherfucker, you can count me out. So it's one thing.
We're a nation of immigrants. This country was not built by immigrants. This country was built by settlers who came here and built this country from nothing.
Y'all see that Habsburg chin, right?
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring.
So y'all already know that whatever's about to come out of that cousin-loving jawline is gonna be delusional. Are we talking about the same plague-ridden illegals whose teeth were literally rotting out of their heads and had lice doing cartwheels on their scalps? The same illegal settlers who brought to this continent rats, fleas, and 30 different diseases, claiming they built this country from nothing. The same settlers who had no clue how to manage their own shit. Literally, they dumped piss and feces outside of their windows onto the streets that they walked on daily and called that civilization. So if you ever wonder where the saying, you don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of comes from, that's where. And while your ancestors were marinating in their own waste, my indigenous ancestors already built man-made structures taller than anything in Europe that had already been standing strong for many, many centuries before Europeans even started learning how to build. My indigenous ancestors were mastering astronomy, irrigation, agriculture, managing sanitation systems, and practicing hygiene, including oral hygiene, centuries before Europeans figured out how not to die from your own filth. And after we showed y'all how to clean yourselves, you thanked us. With genocide, rape, enslavement, and land theft, and after your brutality and imported diseases killed off 90% of the indigenous population, you brought in my other ancestors, Africans you kidnapped, to replace the labor force you decimated. And that wealth eventually made the U.S. an economic superpower. The generational...
And guess what? It wasn't just Indigenous people, Native American people, African Americans, Africans. It was also the Oriental, like Chinese, and perhaps even Japanese, but I know for sure Chinese.
Wealth that y'all still sit on today wasn't earned. It was inherited from the rapists, colonizers, and slave traders who were your ancestors. Y'all refused to dismantle these oppressive systems that we are still living under today because white prosperity wasn't built on brilliance or merit. It was built and is still upheld by Black and brown suffering. And now you have to constantly lie about your history, burning books, pretending your legacy is anything more than barbaric, parasitic violence. Your incestuous, plague-ridden, rat-delivering ancestors didn't build anything. They invaded, they infected, they murdered, and they looted.
Hey girl, I'm Irish, and I just gotta let you know, like, life was hard for us from the get-go. For my ancestors, it took us a lot to get from the bottom to where we are now.
Just like
So don't
many
blame
of
me,
you still
please.
do now. You don't come from greatness. You come from filth, rot, and blood. And you're just mad that we won't let you forget it.
We are a nation of
girl.
I'm at Carpe's Fulfillment Warehouse right here in North Carolina. This underarm antiperspirant came from just south of us in Georgia. And this sweat-absorbing face primer from Minnesota.
I used to do house calls in the hills of the Appalachian Mountains, primarily for people that lived like off the grid. They didn't have telephones. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no GPS. You use a map. You use the compass. And the company that I worked for doesn't exist anymore. I don't work for that company anymore. But all of the stories I have are very interesting. Based on true stories. Of course, I have to change some things because of anonymity. But when people say that there are strange things in the Appalachian Mountains, I didn't believe it until I actually worked in the Appalachian Mountains. Here's one of those events, for example. I was en route to a patient's home, and as I said, I have a lot of patients that are off the grid or they live in very rural communities. So I'm driving down a road and I make a hard turn onto like a side street, I suppose you would say. And there's a single car length bridge. This is important. And I go about 5 minutes past that bridge, and it takes me to another small road where there's a house. Okay, so obviously it didn't take me very long off of the main gravel road to get to this person's house. And like I said, I don't have a GPS, so I really have to pay attention to where I'm going, and how long I've been on this road, and like landmarks, so that I can find my way back. It's the middle of the afternoon, and when I arrive on the property, there's a barn straight ahead at the end of like this drive, and then the house is far set to like the left, and there's like a field in front of the house, right? But it looked like I was supposed to park in front of the barn. That's where the gravel thing ended, so I figured I'd park here and I'll walk to the house. I don't see any other houses around or anything, but I hear that there's people around because I hear like kids playing. And so I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of nice. You know, it's a beautiful day outside. I heard someone call out to me. They said, hello. And I, am still getting stuff out of my car. And I say, hello, I'll be there. Just, give me 1 second. I'm getting my things out of the car. And then I turn and there's like a car that looks like it's been parked there for a while. And I know this because there's like weeds and brush growing up around it. And there's a gentleman that's walking out from behind the car. Looks like he was tinkering on it or something. He was wearing like denim overalls. No shirt underneath. Nothing particularly interesting about this guy. And so I turned around and started heading to the house, and I don't see anyone, so I'm like, well, they must have said hello and then gone back inside. I don't know, maybe they're getting their medications ready, getting their paperwork ready for us to review it when I get in. And I knocked on the door, and the person comes and collects me. And she said, oh, I didn't see that you had arrived. You're a bit early. And I said, oh, am I? Sorry, thought I heard you call out to me. And she said, no. And I was like, okay, fluke, whatever. So we're doing the visit, and we're almost done with the visit. It's still early afternoon. And I get to asking this person, I always ask, who do you live with? And she had said, oh, I live alone, and I own like 100 and some acres. And I was like, oh, so like nobody else lives on the property with you? And she says, no. And I said, well, I thought I heard kids playing outside, and I saw a man doing something with that car out there. Like, does he work for you? And she looked at me and she said, it's out there. And I was like, the car? Yeah, it's out there. It's at this moment I realized that I don't think we're talking about the car. And she goes, "You have to go." I'm like, "I have to go." I'm like, pardon me, but I'm not quite done yet. And she said, "It's going to rain. And if it rains and that pass that you came through, that dirt road gets wet, you won't be able to leave." And I'm like, "It's not going to rain. Like, it's a clear sky outside." She says, "I'll fix you a sandwich." Things are happening quickly. Like, it's kind of bizarre. We go from having a nice visit, talking to, "You need to leave now." And I'm still confused as hell because she's telling me that she lives on a property where no one else is. And I just literally heard people outside and saw a guy on her property. So, like, I'm not understanding what's going on. She's consistently saying, like, "You have to leave. It's going to rain. You're going to get stuck. You won't be able to leave." Okay. So she hands me a bag. She says there's a sandwich in it. It's like a mesh bag that you keep like potatoes or onions in. She just threw like a baggie in there. She said it was a sandwich. So I'm talking to her while she's making the sandwich. And she's telling me that I need to go and get back on the road. And I turn, and it's dark outside. And I don't mean storm cloud dark outside. I mean it's dark outside. It's the middle of the afternoon. And she hastily, walks me to the door from which I have come, opens the door, says goodbye, practically pushes me out and closes the door. Now I'm standing in the middle of the afternoon. That was a sunny afternoon on this person's porch in the pitch black with a sandwich. Weird. I still don't quite understand the sandwich. What do you want me to do? You want me to bargain with Paranormal Patrick out here for my life? Exchange a sandwich for the skin that he wants to take off and wear like a glove? Not gonna lie, I'm tweaking out a little bit. I'm like, what is going on? Everything was fine. So, like I said, I have been in interesting situations before. I have no Wi-Fi. I cannot call anybody. My car is parked, remember, across the field next to the barn, past several cars that are parked on this property that I just saw someone walking by. I see nobody now. So I do what anybody would do. I pretend that I'm walking on Target. I am unbothered. I keep a steady pace. I do not stop. I keep my head straight ahead to my car. And I can tell you clear as day, there is somebody walking. There is somebody walking parallel to me. And you can, I could feel it. Like I could feel somebody looking at me. Give me goosebumps. I don't know if you can see the goosebumps. But I can still, oh yeah, you can. I can still remember somebody's in this field with me. And how the hell is it this dark outside? I'm not gonna lie, I dropped the sandwich. I'm like, I don't care. I'm done. It gets quiet. From the point that I'm walking from the field to my car, it is quiet. No crickets, no frogs, no nothing. But you know what I can hear? Yeah. The sound of jeans. The sound that denim makes when someone's walking. At this point, I'm like, don't run. Don't run. Don't run. Just keep walking like you're walking out of Target. Get to your car and leave. I get to my car. I get back on the road. I start driving. And I'm waiting to see this bridge that I came in on. Because remember, I told you I make note of landmarks. I know how long I've driven on this road because I need to get back to the main road, which means I need to remember how I've come. I'm driving on this road in the dark for 20 minutes. And there is no main road in sight. And this is the only road that enters this property. I couldn't have made a wrong turn. I'm driving down the road. Eventually, I get to this, I wouldn't say brick. It's this stone underpass bridge thing. I drive under it. It's maybe a little tunnel. I drive under it. It's pitch black on the inside. I get to the other side. It's daytime. And I'm sitting in my car shaking, trying to make sense of this. How is this possible? That person. Weather does not explain it. She's like, it's going to rain. There was no rain, okay? That wasn't clouds. That was night, okay? That was night. That was pitch black, middle of the day. I've encountered some strange things on this job, but I can tell you that really felt like being hunted. That was an interesting feeling. Yeah. And to this day, I still don't understand the sandwich. I don't understand why she was so insistent on making me leave with this sandwich. But it didn't come with me. I dropped it on the way to the car. I was like, absolutely not. This is just too weird. This whole thing is so weird. Now, like I said, I worked this area for quite some time. I kind of knew my way around. I kind of knew what roads were shooting off the main gravel road. I could find my way to different side streets, if you will. And this was the first time I had seen this patient. It's the first time I had been off this road with the bridge. And I actually went back that way to drive past it to see another patient again. And I could not, for the life of me, find this road. It's like it wasn't there. There was like rock formation, like a part of the mountain that you would drive, you would turn around, and then it would give way to this little road that I got on. And I passed over this bridge and made it to this woman's property. And I never saw that road again. I know you probably think I'm absolutely crazy, but I never saw that road again. The Appalachian Mountains are not for the weak, y'all. I mean, I can't explain it. I know it's kind of an odd story. It's kind of anticlimactic. Nothing happened. But,
it could have.
I can't explain it. If you live in the Appalachian Mountains, have you ever heard of something like this happening before? I know it sounds silly, but what do you mean the road's not there? I used to have.
So there's this massive file leak that just happened from Ehud Barak, the ex-prime minister of Israel, one of Epstein's very good buddies. Thousands of his emails were leaked online. And alternative sources are talking about it, but the mainstream media, totally silent. Radio silence. And I have spent the last, I don't even know how long, just going down the rabbit hole. And I'm about to take you with me. This is just the start. This is just preliminary reporting. There's a lot of files, and just figuring out how to even analyze them has been a whole process. But through that process, working with my buddy over here on one screen and the reports on the other screen, and getting AI involved to write code that would scrape and then combine and then analyze. By the end of this, we're going to get to how they were surveilling the Hillary Clinton campaign. Oh yeah. And Putin and Jeff Bezos, Bill Clinton, Benjamin Netanyahu, and there's links that will go to email report. But first, I just want to tell you how we got here. Because when you actually download the leaked emails, they come from 2 different emails. But when you go into those emails, there is just this whole mess of folders. And in each one, there's more folders with different things. And each of these files is an individual email, right? But we're talking 50,000 emails or more, each individual files in all these different folders. How the fuck are we going to analyze them? So lately, I've been playing with AIs in terms of helping find sources, helping dig through complex details and data, and helping get to primary sources. And, or in this case, aggregate thousands of email files and turn them all into one file that we can search all at once, because they're not all in one place. You can't search them. There's nowhere you can go and type in Peter Thiel and have it find you where Peter Thiel is in the files. So I got on a call with my code wizard buddy. We got on here. He taught me how to use the most basics of Python, and he helped me out and did it with me. Crash course in coding, and we wrote out all this crazy code, and it's a long story. We'll skip it. But we wrote a program that would put them all into one JSON file. And then we got the JSON file, and it's real big. When you scroll through it, it's all of them extracted with critical information retained, like file names and file paths, day the email was sent, who it's from, who it's to, etc. But now it's searchable. And now we can put AI into them and have AI start scraping through it and be like, find me every instance of this or that, or look for patterns here or there. And that's where we stumbled across something kind of random that at first we thought was a nothing burger. Is in one of the little reports that it made summarizing what it was finding in the files, it mentioned Clinton and the Clinton Foundation and surveillance of the Clinton Foundation. And I was like, wait a minute. You're telling me that Jeffrey Epstein and Ehud Barak are communicating behind the scenes about surveillance on the Clinton administration? Please tell me more. And so then it wrote up this little executive summary. This is all AI generated, all about what it found about the Clinton Foundation. And this is where it gets complicated, because you can't just trust AI to just tell you the truth and not double check it. You have to double check AI. And so what I always do every time that I'm using AI for anything is I build in source citation. So it has to provide me links to the primary source where it is getting the information from. In this case, those are emails. But out on the internet, maybe that's to an article or to a statement or to, a document or something. And so we had to build in links to the emails that it's referencing to make these claims about the Clinton Foundation. And this is the original email. And it kind of looks like a nothing burger. It's from no reply at relsi.com. And it's kind of just like a newsletter with a bunch of headlines in it, which is like, oh, that's not very interesting. I mean, I think we're just accessing his spam folder at this point, right? Wrong. Anytime you get to a part in one of these digs where it's just like something's weird or it doesn't make sense or you don't understand something, you should just look a little deeper. So this weird newsletter thing is published and produced by Relationship Sciences LLC, or Relationship Science LLC. So just for the heck of it, we look up Relationship Science LLC. We ask for a little summary of what they're doing. We dig into them. Basic AI summary, probably the easiest way to get this description out. Relationship Science LLC does a web-based platform to build business relationships for selling and growing, providing clients the information needed to close a deal, win a client, raise capital, get the inside track, meet new partners, enter a new market, achieve a new level of influence. So it's still sounding like it's just a random newsletter that he signed up for at one point and forgot to unsubscribe from. That's not what it is. The RelSci platform provides real-time, people-driven intelligence on over 10 million influential decision makers and over 1.8 million organizations across the public, private, financial, and nonprofit sectors. Clients receive 360 alert emails so they can stay current with the ones that matter most to them. This appears to be their key newsletter product that would have reached Epstein and Barack. This RelSci service costs $3,000 per year per subscriber and is designed for Wall Street professionals who understand that if you get one extra deal, the price is irrelevant. So this is a high-end monitoring program that you sign up for, and then it gives you high-end paid reports on people that you want to monitor, whether it's so you can make a deal with them or you just want to keep an eye on your competitors or you want to know what your old blackmail buddy is up to. So we asked some clarifying questions. Is this like a random newsletter that's just sending them random information about random powerful people, or are they specifically requesting reports on the Clintons and maybe other people? Yes. Based on how RelSci services work, you would have had to specifically request monitoring of Clinton-related activities, and here's why, etc. There's all these filters. It's very customizable. It's very tailored and specific. So when Ehud Barak is receiving these RelSci reports about Hillary Rodham Clinton, Bill Clinton, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Bill Clinton, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Bill Clinton, they're receiving that because they have paid thousands of dollars for this service and have specifically tailored their subscription that those are people that they want to keep tabs on. So naturally, we got curious and had the AI scrape the entire list of emails that was leaked and find every single email that came from noreply@relsi.com. Write up a little report, include links to the original emails, please and thank you. Wow. Do a little tweaking through version 1 and 2 and 3. And here we are. They were surveilling Hillary Clinton, specifically 39 different reports about her relating mostly to her presidential campaign in 2016. They were surveilling Vladimir Putin. They were surveilling Jeff Bezos, Bill Clinton, Benjamin Netanyahu, Bill Gates, Larry Summers, Michael Bloomberg, George Soros. The list goes on. And again, this is not like some advanced intelligence operation. This is just basic data collection that they're paying for this service to keep tabs on all these people. But to clarify, Jeffrey Epstein, the lone pedophile, was working with Ehud Barak, the ex-prime minister of Israel, the ex-head of military intelligence in Israel, communicating about surveilling people. This is just scratching the surface. That is just the first thing that I just thought was super interesting. I gotta still shower and shave. I literally just moved into this new library where we're gonna be building the studio. It's kind of getting set up, but it'll take a second. We also, in one of our first searches, accidentally stumbled upon an email where Jeffrey Epstein was straight up sending a bank account number and a routing number to Ehud Barak for some sort of money transfer. Gotta look more into that one. There's literally over 50,000 emails. And if there's one thing that they actually do corroborate already that I can tell just from reading the beginning ones that I've seen, it clearly shows that Ehud Barak and Jeffrey Epstein were working on an intelligence operation together as partners. And they were clearly using coded messages. And more importantly, they were using phone calls for all of the most sensitive content rather than sending them in emails, because they're not idiots like Hillary Clinton is. And they knew that in an intelligence operation, there's a lot of things that you just don't want to put in text, because someday text might wind up on some asshole screen like mine. But it's still not hard to read between the lines. These guys were working together on an intelligence operation, and they were targeting all of these important people and many others. And I have a feeling that the reporting that has come out about Peter Thiel in these leaks so far, about Jeffrey Epstein in these leaks so far, all the reporting that's happening about these leaked emails, it is only scratching the surface. I'm going to try to figure out my best way that I can put this JSON file online so that everyone can have this searchable file that they can hopefully utilize to dig through it more. I'm going to be publishing all of these reports as much as I can. Stay tuned. Follow me on YouTube because I'm going to be doing a whole deep dive video on YouTube exploring everything about this and drawing a whole bunch more connections. I just felt like before I go find my razor and shave this whole beard off of my face, I figured I should probably share the beginning of this thing with you because it's kind of wild.
Thanks, Ian.
And yeah, I mean, who knows who Epstein was working for? He was probably just working for like Qatar or something. But it's pretty clear now that whoever he was working for, Ehud Barak was involved in it. W. Whitney Webb once again. So there's this map.
Okay, so if you want to check out his page, it's Ian Carroll Show. Carroll is 2 R's and 2 L's. Yeah. No, I don't want to see you hot.
And I told Ellen that I...
Okay, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. All right, boys and girls, guys, gals, and ghouls, it's time for our first music break. And on this break, we have the lovely and talented Miss Camera Bubble from the greater New York area with Laundry, Out the Mud, and Cute Panties. And then we have Griff from Toronto, or as my friend would say, Toronto, Canada, with Best Life. And then Fluid, I believe, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with I Love It. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
Hey, get up on that washer, hit the spin cycle till I come home. The way where I'm at, I'm out here breadwinning, so don't hit my phone. Should've never gave you treats like that. You got a sweet tooth and won't leave me alone. And every time I try to get some sleep, I wake up cause you're doing me wrong. Nigga, up under covers, used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak, cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Ain't playing. I'm playing. I'ma have you doing them dishes too. Better let them plates clean. Be grateful for this delicious food. Why you want on fours? What you scrubbing floors? Cause you want some more? But you like it dirty. You are so dirty. You like it dirty. Nigga, up under covers. Used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak. Cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Nigga, up under covers. Used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak. Cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? First of all, I was sleeping. And second of all, why you creeping? Third of all up on me, rubbing like conditioner that you be trying to leave it. Relax, love, keep breathing. And I would say keep cleaning, but you like it dirty. You is so dirty. You like it dirty. Nigga, up under covers. Used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak. Cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Get up on that washer, hit the spin cycle till I come home. The way where I'm at, I'm out here breadwinning, so don't hit my phone. Should've never gave you treats like that. You got a sweet tooth and won't leave me alone. And every time I try to get some sleep, I wake up cause you're doing me wrong. Nigga, up under covers. Used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak. Cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Nigga, up under covers. Used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak. Cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Undercover. Yeah. You like it dirty. You are so dirty. You like it dirty, yeah? Undercovers. Yeah. She like it dirty. You're so dirty. You like it dirty.
I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Do you and live your best life? Don't care if my head ain't right. Where you from? Who you with? Are you a blend? Are you equipped? I do my thing, stay legit. In this world, no one's innocent. VIP, get bottles. One snap of my fingertips. See these haters like blah blah blah, blah 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 blah, talking gibberish. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Do you and live your best life? Don't care if my head ain't right. Rolling and rolling and rolling SUV. Rolling and rolling and rolling with my homies. Rolling and rolling and rolling SUV. Rolling and rolling and rolling with my homies. I'm going to live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm going to live my best life. Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life? I'm going to live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm going to live my best life. Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life? I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Do you and live your best life. Don't care if my head ain't right.
I get the feeling, can't help but feeling. I get the feeling I'm too me time, and I'm okay on night or out at sea. So come to have it in the daytime. Promise you'll keep sunshine on my feet. Somebody pinch me, this is juicy, juicy. Squeeze out this one glow on my cheek. Sweet dreams only don't let go. Sweet dreams, please don't tell me lies. It's gonna be different now. That's what they say. It's gonna be different how when it's steady pouring rain. We're stepping out the mud. Yeah, we on our way. We're stepping out the mud. We gon' be okay. Ain't got to live in dirt. I walk through, walk through. Ain't got to deal with what I won't do, won't do. We stepping out the mud. Yeah, we on our way. Worm your way up out the mud. We gon' be okay. Ain't gon' do me dirty. You gon' do me right, right. Give me all the sunshine I need in my life, life. Ain't gon' do me dirty. You gon' do me right, right. Give me all the sunshine I need in my life. I get the feeling under moonlight. Put a little twist into my beat. I should be dancing cause it feels right. Shake it, shake it, shake it with the breeze. Now once again, will give me two dice, two dice. I feel so lucky, can't you see? Sweet dreams only don't let go. Sweet dreams, please don't tell me lies. It's gonna be different now. That's what they say. It's gonna be different how when it's steady pouring rain. We're stepping out the mud. Yeah, we on our way. We're stepping out the mud. We gon' be okay. Ain't got to live in dirt. I
my left hand. I'm ballin', making buckets back to back like I was Stephen. Better yet, I'm Phil Jackson, so don't treat me like the next man. And I'm kind of a real big deal, so don't be out there second guessing. Anyway, I make my pay and live this California lifestyle. Sunshine, loud packs, and chicks that love to get wild. That's how we do it every day. Slipping, sliding through the traffic on a mission for the day. Clearing marks about my way. We ain't got no time for y'all today. And all the craziness y'all talk, but never get your story straight. See me out here living great. I don't give a about all that hate. And when it comes to kicking game, I give you all that you can take. Trying to do it big, got no complaints. Every morning eating steak. They say I'm wrong for showing out, but I'ma do it anyway. Plus and thing ain't nothing bitch, cause I can do it any day. And it don't matter where I go, I always represent the yay. I'm so in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Boppers used to hate me, now they tell me I'm a tight now. Swagger through the roof, got everybody on my height now. So in love with this lifestyle. I love it, I love it, I love it. So in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. See me, I'm out here getting it and loving how I live. Best believe if I do something, I'm a stupid do it big. And this hustling is my gig, so don't you ask me what I stand for. Stacking while I'm macking, trying to earn myself a couple Lambos. Yeah, you know them toys for them big boys. Emperor of sorts and all you other players decoys. Meaning you're not the real deal. Keep an appetite for dollars that I never miss a meal. All you suckers need to chill. I'm just trying to stack a meal. And pull the baddest bras around and love show they sex appeal. Little bit of Netflix, then we chill. Lose them clothes, keep on them heels. Working like a 9 to 5 and go right back to chasing thrill. I bring that real, never that phony. BS, y'all be stressing, put it down just like an OG. Perform these cookies, take flight. Some of y'all just out here acting. I'm a boss in real life. I'm so in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Boppers used to hate me, now they tell me I'm a tight now. Swagger through the roof, got everybody on my height now. So in love with this lifestyle. I love it, I love it, I love it. So in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Keep it more 100 than a C note. Hall of Fame spitting, representing with these pimp quotes. Don't try to front, you know this shit's dope. Question is, will I ever fail? My answer is no. I make this hustling look amazing. Put it down, doper than a blunt of purple hazing. Spicy on the mic, I bring the fire like a Cajun. Scoville, making haters sweat when I be blazing. Leaning to the side, haters everywhere. Yeah, I hear them talking, but they simply wasting air. Can't understand the reason that they stay in my affairs. But I'm major with my movements, getting money everywhere. I'm so in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Boppers used to hate me, now they tell me I'm a tight now. Swagger through the roof, got everybody on my height now. So in love with this lifestyle. I love it, I love it, I love it. So in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. So in love with this lifestyle. I love it, I love it, I love it. So in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now.
Yeah. Bubble on that. Yeah. Real cute. Underwear. To be honest, I don't really wear many. I don't even really rock panties. Let me be clear, I'm used to getting a few new big pair each year from my granny. Couple sexy ones that might come up, and I done had way too much Henny or drunk text go out. They come and eat the sweet juicy pie down there, I'ma go that route. But now, nigga, wrong song. I only need a couple of bars to turn you on. That's why I started mentioning that lingerie, but pull her to the studio with some long johns. This verse about to take a turn for the worse, and all them cute panties gonna be long gone. Cause the hating niggas that I wrote it for, they ain't afraid of wordplay, that's why they wrote this for. So I'ma drive them wild. One day they might hit all about my voice shorts, G-string, slutty thongs, even put them head up with pennies on the cover, so they wonder how that bubble tastes. You can stay mad, be miserable, old, predictable, maybe not even applicable. Yeah, you typical. Check your man if it ain't you, cause way too many queens rockin' shades, cause they eyes black and blue. Way too many dudes putting hands on the bras. That make you feel like a man. Mishandling a weaker vessel, yeah, you saw. Y'all look, it's way too many dudes only wanna spar. But ain't got no conversation, only wanna gossip or recall. Why kicks in these grown dudes, I got a broad data like some broad. Why kicks in these dudes like these girls fighting Let me slip you into something real soft. Prefer the laces satin or the silk, cause some pretty little rolls, they gon' hang off your balls. Look at you sitting pretty, yeah. You the type that rock them cute pennies, yeah. Come here, yo, cute, yeah. Real cute, you hating on a female, cute, real cute. Why you mad we getting money? Maybe that's why you sag like them punish out. Oh, by the way, cute pennies, bro, real cute. Grown man, big boss, taking shots from a penthouse love. Talking trash, she making big calls. Yep, then again, that's only till his phone got off. Come again, yeah, his phone got disconnected. But don't worry, he be back online hating in a second. Back at the crib, remember she paid her phone and the rent. Squash a nigga vegetables off. Now he souped up in my mentions on some vegetable bro. Leaving comment after comment, you that thirsty, drink vomit. I promise I ain't never seen nobody when had so much time to hate me. Be honest, is you mad at me? Or the fact that I'm grinding? It's a fact that I'm winning, son, I really be shining. Why you pressed on my diamond? You ready to swing on this little bitty girl, so don't tell me I'm lying. Way too many dudes putting hands on the road. That make you feel like a man. Mishandling a weaker vessel, yeah, you saw. Yo, look, it's way too many dudes only wanna score. But ain't got no conversation, only wanna gossip or recall. Why kicks in these grown dudes? I get a broad dated like some broad. Why kicks in these dudes like these girls fighting on the stopper to record? These little niggas online, the worst part, lame hoes got a squad. And all they do is just like the females doing interviews with that nigga blog. I be like, come in, big boy, take off them drones. I'm just paying for shopping. Let me slip you into something real soft. Prefer the laces satin or the silk, cause some pretty little rolls, they gon' hang off your balls. Look at you sitting pretty, yeah. You the type that rock them cute pennies, yeah. Come here, yo, cute, yeah. Real cute, yeah. Hating on a female, cute, real cute. Why you mad we getting money? Maybe that's why you sag like them punish out. Oh, by the way, cute pennies, bro, real cute.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. We've been doing Trippy TikToks with me, TessaTNT, and it's been interesting, a little different than I expected it to be, but I'm thinking we might switch it up a bit. So let's hop back on over here. Hello, YouTube. Okay, so this is a part one. I might want to say this one before we go to following. So this is on my For You. I want to go to following after this. Unless the next thing is interesting. And do I really want to hear about Ellen? All right, so I don't know. I don't like Ellen.
Parks there, disappears.
Ooh. Okay, so I've been wondering about this. Last I heard, there was bones found on Miss Taylor Swift's property. They weren't sure whose it was, where it came from, etc., etc. Let's see. So yeah, maybe this is an update. Let's check it out.
She's never seen again. Her mother calls and says, listen, calls the highway patrol and says, listen, she never showed up to school. The next day, they find her car at the rest stop.
What the hell I'm talking about.
They ask a bunch of witnesses, and the witnesses say, yeah, I remember her. She was speaking to a guy who was 6 foot tall, had brown hair, about in his mid-30s. Same age Garth was at the time. And they said that guy was somehow connected to a bunch of an 18-wheeler. I think he was either in the truck or had some kind of connection. He was connected to this truck, and then the girl disappears. And you think, okay, that's pretty odd.
Okay. Yeah.
But what's really odd is that the girl's body was found like 2 states over a week later on the side of the road on another highway that Garth's convoy had to travel to his next spot.
Whoa.
So super, super odd. Very odd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But and there's a lot of them where it's just like, hey, 2 miles away from where he was performing, somebody disappeared. 4 miles away from where he was at the Grammy Awards,
right?
Somebody was.
It sounds like a setup because anyone who watches Criminal Minds or any sort of SUV or anything like that show, go at least over 10 miles from the radius of where you committed the crime because otherwise it's easy for them to find and catch. So was it you, Goth?
Found choked to death or shot. Here, like there's those which seem random until you start adding up the numbers.
And then how do the police? How is it possible that there's never been any sort of evidence or DNA linking back to him? Like how could he sort of get the police to cover for him in all of these incidents?
Funny you should mention that. There's one instance where 2 people were taken hostage. So when I say taken hostage, they were, I don't know if you want to say kidnapped, whatever. They're in the car. A boyfriend and girlfriend are in a car. Someone forces them to go driving. At some point during the drive, what is he? Is he taking them out to the woods to kill the 2 of them? Is he? Who knows? But they're driving with someone in the backseat. At some point, the boyfriend gets shot. The girlfriend's driving.
I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. Oh my God. Yeah. So dead.
I learned AI at 50 using this method.
You are AI, lady. All right, we're going to switch. Oh my gosh, please don't bite me in the booty. Sorry, I have sensory stink, so my until not really shocked. Seriously. Oh, looks like something's happening. I'm still waiting for my text message to my son to send too. Come on. Look with me here. Oh, it's nobody. Hey, buddy. Ooh. Okay, why can I not see him? Oh, is it loading? It's doing its thing? Yeah, because everything else looks good. Conscious observers. Cellular data's on. Sorry, guys. This is redonkulous. Yeah, I noticed. You're not turning on your computer, are you? Okay, thank you, because, yeah, my stuff is not working now, so. And it wasn't sending either, so I was just like, man, I better call him. But thank you, son, for noticing. Okay. All right. Bye, Sonny. Also,
what if I told you that your favorite child...
Weird. Yeah, I can't hear anything. I don't get it. All right, let's go to Mr. Knightley.
This is getting interesting. Obviously, this is not what I normally cover because it's not, well, it's kind of related. It's space related, but I just, I want you guys to know what's going on. So more information on 3i Atlas. Now, it's getting a little bit, let's just say, abnormal at this point in time based on some more verification. So 4 of the world's most powerful telescopes, Webb, Hubble, VLT, and Sphere-X, have converged on interstellar visit at 3i Atlas.
Yes.
What they found is rewriting astronomy, alien chemistry, metallic signatures, colossal size, and behavior no comet should show. With its Mars flyby just weeks away, this ancient messenger is forcing us to confront how little we know about the galaxy. Now, before I read some of the statistics here and what they're discovering, I just want to be very clear about this. It's like, how could we possibly assume that we know everything about our surroundings when we haven't even left our solar system yet? Just think about that for a minute.
And when we haven't even explored our own ocean completely. First one.
A lot of science is based on existing discovery. Okay, not stuff. We aren't hypothesizing. We are just, unless you're talking about sort of further mathematics or something. But outside of that, where you have to sort of hypothesize, we are applying a limited brush to a spectrum so broad, I believe it's infinite in terms of its resources. And when I'm saying infinite in terms of its resources, I'm talking about elements associated with different types of objects. How can we possibly assume that everything on the periodic table that we have there now is every single element that exists in the cosmos, in the universe? How could we possibly come to that conclusion and go, nope, whatever's on the periodic table, that's all there is out there. There's nothing else. Isn't the universe almost like infinite? Like, I don't quite understand how we've come to that conclusion on our, with our narrow-minded approach. We've barely been here a blink of an eye in terms of universal years or timeline. And we think that we understand everything, and we're applying what we've learned to it's just stupid. So I think we have to have a much, much, much wider aperture when it comes to discovering things that are coming from outside of our solar system, and not assume that it has to fit into the mold of what is on our periodic table. So anyway, let me read some more data here from the four telescopes. So four telescopes, one mystery. So James Webb, Hubble.
Also, if you ask me, and I know you're not, our periodic table is pretty damn small compared to the universe.
BLT and NASA's SphereX all studied through our atlas and found results that defy cometary science. James Webb on August 6th, okay, so that was last month, almost a month ago, detected unprecedented chemistry, a CO2 to water ratio of 8.1, the highest ever measured, suggests alien stellar nursery origin. Hubble on July 21st, images showed irregular nucleus size 320 meters by 5.6 kilometers, strange plume, and no water vapor jets. Outgassing didn't match any known comet. Very large telescope, VLT, August 21st, found cyanide and nickel, a metallic signature pointing to an ancient alien stellar system origin, estimated age 7 billion years. SphereX, August 8th to August 12th. Size estimate blew minds. Nucleus could be up to 46 kilometers wide, millions of times more massive than Oumuamua or Borisov, raises a hiding problem. What else is out there we've missed? Global coordination. So data from 4 major instruments all converge. Anomalies are real, not instrument error. So upcoming events. So October 3rd, closest approach to Mars is 18.6 miles. ESA orbiters on standby. October 29th, vanishes behind the sun. And then December, final reappearance before disappearing into interstellar space.
And you know what else is weird? Like, not only is it going to hide behind the sun on its approach, but it's going to fly very close by 3 of the planets in our solar system. This is a 1 in a billion chance. Like, comets do not do this. Comets do not change trajectory. Comets do not speed up. Everything about this does not make sense. Comets do not have their own naturally emitted light.
Forever. So, I mean, again, some of you might find that interesting. I just wanted to cover this just to understand, basically what it is that they're talking about. Now, I've got some more cliff notes here, and I don't know if it's going to converge. So I want to talk a bit more about this industrial fingerprint. So nickel alone, cyanide in the plume, CO2 dominance instead of water/CO, all signs of metallurgic or industrial activity. Do with that what you will. Some of this stuff is quite technical, so I don't quite understand what it's referring to. Some of you might understand this, so that's why I'm getting it out here. Self-heating, so active 6 times farther from the sun than Earth, suggesting an internal power source, possibly a nuclear reactor.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Dust haze anomaly. Its coma sometimes leads instead of trailing, hinting at controlled exhaust or electromagnetic manipulation. Nickel output scale is 0.5.
Okay, and also, if you don't know what the coma is the aura sort of looking thing that goes around it due to burning up in the atmosphere, etc. Except for that's the atmosphere of space. It's a freaking vacuum. But instead of going backwards, the coma is facing away from the sun. This coma is going forward. Does this make sense? I don't know if it does to you, but it sure as hell does not make sense to me. Not a damn lick of sense.
5 metric tons of nickel vented, suggesting 50 kilos of alloy production inside. Okay, now this is where it gets a bit wacky. Self-repair theory. So cyanide presence implies possible surface coating or plating technology, keeping itself operational. Comparison to von Neumann probes. So could be a self-replicating harvester machine disguised as a comet. Jesus. Okay, all right. Okay, this is getting a little bit far-fetched for me, even.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's not what NASA has not said something like that. That's probably coming from some sort of hypothesis or someone, from a podcast or something. But historical precedent. So a young star system in 2008 mysteriously lost its protoplanetary disk, perhaps a large-scale harvest. Wow. Signal context. Humanity has broadcast messages since 1930s. Olympics, Arecibo, cosmic call, blah, 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 and strange, unexplained signals have come back. So obviously the WOW signal they're referring to from 2019 from Proxima, the Proxima signal or whatever it's called. Interpretation 3i Atlas may be the answer, not a comet, but an engineered probe. Okay, again, that is a little bit far-fetched for me. And from what we're seeing so far, a lot of the stuff that
I'm just wondering, why is this far-fetched? This is nothing within our stratosphere of knowledge, but this is clear across and beyond our universe. It's from the old universe. Out of nowhere, like I said, changed trajectory, everything. Okay, so I kind of think I know where you're coming from, because this reminds me of when, oh man, I've been doing this for about 8 years, maybe more. I want to say 12 in total, but I don't even know anymore. Flat Earth and different things like that people told me, and the way you've been taught, the way you've learned, the things that are like in your core, your knowledge, everything. It's just being flipped upside down and all around, and we're learning that a lot of the things that we have been taught is BS-ery. It's bullshit. Bullshit. So, come on, Mr. Knightley, you got this. Wouldn't be the first time our leaders have led us astray. But yes, it is completely possible. It's outside the realm of the spectrum of our knowledge, but doesn't mean it ain't true.
Well, okay, let's refer to what David Grush is talking about, is either interstellar or is interdimensional. Why would they be using such a rudimental form of propulsion that's basically, in scale of what we've discussed before, this is a slow-moving object. I don't care how fast NASA thinks it is.
Yeah. It's supposedly moving hundreds of thousands of miles per hour. Maybe 100 and something thousand miles per hour still. That's pretty damn fast. As far as what he said, what NASA is saying. What NASA is saying and what the truth is, those are two completely different things. Another thing that even my husband thinks I'm crazy about, the freaking moon landing. There's so many things about it that even still today, the videos they do and stuff, like flies, mice, different things like that on the outside of the hole, these are living, eating, breathing, whatever entities, as are we. They should not be living on the outside of the space shuttle. Holy shnikes.
If we've got anti-gravitic tech, this thing's moving at snail pace compared to some of the stuff that, Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman are working on. So that in itself implies that maybe this is a less civilized, potentially, civilization. And that's a hypothesis, obviously. I don't believe that to be the case. I still think it's just a comet. I just think that we cannot assume that everything's made of all the same stuff. Maybe it's new elements that cause that has a different reaction when it's.
Well, yeah, and that doesn't even make sense either. Like, have you seen a meteorite leaving, the upper atmosphere coming into the lower? I have here in Durango, Colorado, and it was just so beautiful. It was like this aqua sort of green and then a little darker, and then this fluorescent sort of blue. So blue, dark green, light green. It was really pretty. I believe nickel was in that one, and there was a couple other things I can't remember, but nickel caused that greenish sort of color. They're not all comprised of the same things. There's been so many different planets and stars and everything, born supernovas, etc., things that explode.
Approaching the sun. Why can't we just have that debate? I mean, it's good to have an open discussion about this, but why do we have to assume or apply what we've learned on Earth and apply that to an interstellar object that shares no commonality with our solar system, maybe even our galaxy? I don't know. I just think that's a little bit far-fetched.
Well, yeah, and I see what he's saying. The only thing, to me, that does not make sense is the, I want to say aura, the coma, pointing forward instead of backwards. And it reminds me of those old paintings that people did when there were UFO wars and invasions and stuff in our skies, which is probably going to happen again shortly. We've already had the drones, stuff like that, which people are saying they're human-made, but that's the only thing that I disagree with what he's saying is coma going forward instead of backwards. The tail does not go forward, it goes backwards. And if your tail does go forward, that generally means you're a man.
Personally, and I don't think that's what's going on here. But look, I'll keep an open mind for now. I mean, I had to start a channel like this, so I'm going to report on everything that's coming through. I'll be doing more videos through the week, guys, because there's some new whistleblower announcements for September, and that's coming up next week. So I will be informing you very soon on all that. But for now, do with that information what you will. Read between the lines, do your own research, and see if any of this hits. Interesting little piece there, but that's it for now. You heard it first from DK. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, DK. Yeah, have a healthy discussion. Oh man, there's something else I was going to say, but okay, so that is the hard part about doing a podcast or having a TikTok or having a YouTube or whatever. If you have a guest or information coming in, you need to share the information, because even though you feel like you know, you don't always know. Sometimes you know and you don't know why you know, but totally agree with him. Like, he's got to step back and put his thoughts or beliefs and stuff behind him and broadcast what is being shared, and then perhaps share your thoughts or feelings or whatnot, beliefs on it. But yeah.
What if I told you that your favorite childhood movies were secretly teaching you occult magic? No, seriously, what if The Never-Ending Story, Labyrinth, and The Dark Crystal weren't just nostalgic fantasy flicks with...
Okay, so if you don't know that already, I don't know what to tell you. This guy, I feel bad that I don't really share his videos on here, because his videos are super damn long, and we cannot do this, but all the videos that he just named, The Never-Ending Story, Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal, all of these had an undertone of witchcraft, etc. There's a lot of that going.
Does anybody else have a cat who loves to be pet hard? Like, this dude loves his butt spanked.
Slap its ass. Yes, exactly.
That's his thing.
See, I thought I was the only one that did that.
Loves that. I don't know what the deal is.
That's crazy.
Does anybody else have a cat who loves to be pet hard? Like this dude loves his butt spanked. Watch it. Watch.
Dude, seriously, that's what I'm just saying.
If you love vampires and Irish folklore, then I have the perfect horror film for you to watch.
Thanks, and
I know I look like I'm filming this from the past, but my front camera's broken, so we're just going to have to make do. This film has been on my radar for ages, and I'm quite hungover today, and I realised that this is like a perfect hangover horror film watch. This film is about the vampire legend Avertoch, and this is a real vampire legend in Ireland, right? So basically, Avertoch was a big bad bastard vampire, and he was slain by a chieftain who managed to bury him under the ground, and his grave is this old cairn that is all these stones built up, right? So a combination of these people accidentally unleash Avertoch by knocking down his grave, okay? There's a whole story behind it. It's great. And the thing that I loved about this film, right, is it's not just about this vampire legend. I mean, obviously that's a huge part of the story. It's the overarching narrative. But it's also about growing up in rural Ireland and what happens when you're an adult in rural Ireland and there aren't that many opportunities for you. It also has some gorgeous emotional moments that are about relationships between fathers and sons, and some men's inability to express their emotions effectively, and then what that does generationally. It also touches upon grief and the importance of exploring grief and expressing grief. And it does all of this with what I thought was a great script. It just felt really Irish. There were so many brilliant one-liners that made me laugh out loud.
Nice.
There's so much squabbling and scrabbling around trying to come to terms with this crazy situation that these people have found themselves in. And the thing that I really liked about this film is that we didn't see too much of Avertoch, right? When you've got a relatively low budget horror film and you don't have the budget for a big CGI or whatever to show a really scary monster, just don't show that much of them. It's just as effective, and they do it very well in this film. Is this film going to change your life? No, but is it a lovely watch?
And also what she's saying about the monster, even if it's a monster, a ghost, or whatever, like when there's a movie and you see everything except for what the creature or entity is, to me, makes it even more like messed up.
Yes. These are all the places that you can watch it if you're in the UK. I watched it on Channel 4, so if you have the Channel 4 app or whatever, you can watch it there.
Amazon.
These are all the places that you can watch it in the US, and these are all the places that you can watch it in Ireland. If you love vampires...
This is the first appearance of the new Messiah, God of the New World Order.
The projections of Jesus, Muhammad.
Okay, so I haven't seen anything about projections and stuff, but I did see, and I don't know if you guys saw it, I did share it on one of our last Trippy TikTok thingies. But, sorry, my daughter's friend was messaging. In the clouds, did you see the one, like, it's a perfect outline of Jesus Cristo, her brother Jesus, so... That to me was crazy, right? Was there a second coming somewhere and we could all see it in the clouds, except for not everywhere, except for online? I don't know what I'm talking about, but let's see what they say.
Buddha and Krishna will merge into one, and explanations of mysteries and revelations will be disclosed. This one God will, in fact, be the Antichrist, who will explain that the various scriptures have been misunderstood and misinterpreted, and that the religions of old are responsible for turning brother against brother. And
oh, wow, this is coming from my friend Doc Skinner, Holy Shnikes. He used to have a show on We Are Paradox Media.
Nation against nation. Therefore, old religions must be abolished to make way for the new age, new world religion.
When the new God appears in step 2, you'll hear him speaking whether you believe in him or not. And you won't be able to escape his voice because you're not hearing it through your ears. His voice is coming from your mind. They'll use electromagnetic...
But you should already know that people are getting messages that way because our government does have the technology. They also have the technology for UFOs or AUPs, whatever you want to call it. So many things that they lie to us about, just like our parents with Christmas and Easter.
Waves to interfere with brain function. They can shape perceptions, create emotions, and influence beliefs.
The third step in the Bluebeam project uses electronically augmented two-way communication, where ELF, VLF, and LF waves will reach each person from within his or her own mind, convincing each of them that their own God is speaking to them from the very depths of their own soul.
This is the first.
Hey, I've heard some stories about serial killers and stuff that were hearing God.
Hello, friends. So maybe your cat is not just this cute little fuzzball after all. Maybe it's more than that. Maybe it is a biological binaural beat. Maybe it is a furry little spiritual tuning fork that comes into your life at all the right times to help you through tough moments. Now, this is being studied, and it's incredibly fascinating. Edgar Cayce, one of my favorite people in history.
Are you noticing those deltoids? Holy shnikes, that is crazy.
The sleeping prophet talked a lot about cats and said that cats were the spiritual bridge between the physical and the non-physical, and that they could offload diseases and ailments from their human counterparts, and that they were actually like quantumly entangled with.
And did you know their purr can heal broken bones? And I think that's mostly for the cat, but also, like you said, there's different levels, different frequencies of cat purr, and they are healing, which is amazing to me. It makes me think about people online and stuff that are talking about healing through vibration, and they show the different vibratory pictures, through sand, etc. It's amazing. It's intense. These are things from our history that have been kept from us, as well as how they built the frickin' pyramids. Vibration. You can do vibration and lift things like a feather that are thousands of tons. Well, many tons, hundreds of tons, thousands of tons. I don't know. Very large things through different vibrational tones.
With their human being. And that more and more as humanity gets to this tipping point that we're about to go through, this collective dark night of the soul, and then on the other side of it, initiation and spiritual awakening at a global level, that cats are going to become a more important part of our society and of our families, because they're going to help us through this dark time. Now, I think that's super fascinating, because I have two cats. One of my cats' name is Soul, and we got Soul in 2020, right as the world was shutting down, right as my daughter was going through a depressive state, and right as I was going through my own dark night of the soul on the other side of my near-death experience. And Soul came into our life, and he has been incredibly healing and helpful for us. So they've done studies on this and found that the cat's purr is this very low vibrational frequency, and it's at the same frequency vibration that they use healing equipment. So they have equipment that hums along at this low vibrational state, and it like grounds people, and actually helps with like bone density. It helps reduce inflammation. It helps to reduce pain. It does all these amazing things, and that the cat's purr is at that same bandwidth. So if you've ever been around a cat, you know that they're incredibly calming. And when you're having a bad time, anxiety, anything like that, they'll come around you and they'll like rub all over you. And if you lay down, they'll lay on your chest and they'll lay on your heart chakra. And it's believed that they're actually tuning your heart chakra at that point. They're basically recalibrating it, right? Like kind of like a Reiki master would do. And if you're having a lot of mental congestion, a lot of manic thoughts and stuff, and you lay down, they'll come and lay on the pillow above your head. They position themselves where they need to be based on your body and its needs. And it's even been seen and explained that cats can transmute your ailments, diseases, illnesses, things like that into themselves. They basically take it off of you onto them. So notice,
that's how magic works.
Does your cat get sick when you get sick? Also notice.
That's how it works. And no, I've had different cats heal me. Man, I can't even give you all their names, but when I get sick, certain ones lay with me. But after he helped me, he did get sick, but I didn't put that together. So now I feel bad. It must have been.
Notice if your cat gets sick before you get sick, because it's been shown that they can preemptively strike. They know when you're about to get sick. They know when you're about to.
I was really sick. I think it was COVID. It was like pre-COVID coming out. I think it's before they even knew there was COVID. But they being all the rest of us out there in the world, except for the ones that created it and dispersed it. But yeah, my cat laid with me My cat was my nap buddy. But then afterwards, he got the Squirtles, which
to have a
really
panic
bad.
attack. They know when
Poor
you're
guy.
about to have some sort of an issue, and they can preemptively start to heal you and transmute and pull that energy off of you. But it usually manifests in them having some sort of a random sickness.
Yeah.
So it's believed, and this goes back to the ancient times, that the cat is entangled with its family and its owner. And I just think this is amazing because I have cats and we have a special bond with our cats, and particularly Soul.
Sorry to interrupt about Soul, but it's funny to me that the cats are closest to us, but when it comes to them, even though they're family, they quarrel quite a bit. The mother with the son, the mother with the daughter. Generally, Kung Pao, he's out there doing whatever the heck he wants and he stays away, but it's Fantima and her mom Shadow, and then her brother, Fantima's brother, Chubbs. Chubbs the Bucks Bubs. So we have 4 cats. Yeah. But they fight and stuff, and you'd think they're cats, they know each other, they love each other, but that's really weird. I mostly notice it with Fantima and Shadow and Chubbs. She hates
Is
kids, I
always
guess.
there when
I
you
don't
need
know.
him. And when you're good and you're healthy and you're happy and you're, everything's fine inside, then he has his independence and he has his bubble and, everything, he acts a particular way. But as soon as you're having a rough day or you can't sleep or you're having anxiety or you don't feel good or anything like that, he's there. He's there, and he purrs and he lays on you and he snuggles with you and you can just tell that he is
can also
tending
disagree
to
too.
you. And it's just super interesting to look at it from this point of view that happens on an individual level. Cats seem to come into your life whenever you need them the most. Like they might just show up at your door one day or something like that. And you're like, you know what? I don't really need a cat or want a cat, but I like this guy. And I don't know. I think there's something special about this. And next thing you know, you have a cat and then you have this lifelong bond. Well, so that happens at an individual level. Edgar Casey says this is happening at a collective level as well, because as we go through this dark night of the soul, he said this 100 years ago, but if you read his words now, it rings true that we're going to go through this time where we are going to feel disconnected and disassociated and lost and all these things, and that cats were going to help us to get through this dark time. So what's happening right now? Well, as we have more connectiveness in the digital world, phones and internet and podcasts and all that fun stuff, which is all great, we're starting to lose our connection at the human level and at the spiritual level. And a lot of people seem lost. AI is coming in, robotics are coming in, the world's changing, and people don't really know how to adapt, and they feel kind of confused and out of place and what's very uncertain about the future, right? Well, what is one thing you can count on? You go home, and who's waiting for you? That cute little fuzzy cat, just ready to curl up in your lap or ready to rub against your leg and not just put its pheromones on you, which is one thing that cats do, but also pull off your negative energy and pull off that baggage and take it on its own and go outside and ground and release it. That's why they're always rubbing all over the ground and rolling around like that. They're shedding, getting rid.
They also do that in catnip. I think they not only do it to get rid of stuff, but they also do it to absorb things.
They're dumping off those positive ions that they pulled off of you, putting it back into the earth so that they can come back up and be another sponge for you next time. So next time you see your cat, tell him thank you, because he's doing some work that you don't realize. He's doing work behind the scenes. He's doing important work, and just pay attention. If you're having a bad day, does he act different? If you're having a panic attack or anxiety, does he lay on your chest to bounce your heart chakra? Do they pay more attention to your head at certain times? Does your cat get sick before you get sick or right after you get sick? Is there any sort of a connection? Are you quantumly entangled with your feline friend, and that they seem to know what's going to happen with you even before you do, and they spring into action? This is so fascinating, because as we go through this collective transition here, what's going to happen with our cat friends? It's almost as if they're connected as well, right? The cats share this morphic resonance
Since
field.
Egyptian
That's why if you have a
times,
cat
or even
that's never been
before.
around another cat in its life, right? It still acts like a cat, has all the same cat behaviors and everything. They're connected. They're connected by the
Well, even though they're connected, when you first get a new cat, my cat needs a buddy. I'm gone all the time. You got to put that cat in another room for a week, and hopefully you got a gap like that under your bedroom door or whatever room you put it through, so they can smell each other. maybe touch each other or whatever, but you need to let them smell each other and touch each other and whatever through that crack for at least a week. Doesn't always work, but most times it does.
Information field, and they're tuned into us. They are a part of the human collective as well. So I think as we all go through this time period, be extra nice to your cat. If you don't have a cat, think about getting one, adopt one. There's a lot out there that need homes, but then also pay more attention to your cat. You know, they might be able to tell you, they're kind of precognitive. They might be able to tell you stuff before you know it, you know, and just be extra nice to them, take care of them. And if you're sick and it seems like you offloaded any of that to your cat, give them extra care, you know, do extra things to take care of them, because I think we need them more than they need us. Anyways, do you have a cat? Does any of this ring true to you? Let me know your thoughts below. Have a beautiful day. Peace.
This is not a once-off. The dams are 100% weapons. Again.
Do you guys know about this? Like all over the world in different caverns and caves and canyons, and right out here, this could be a lake, this could be a seabed, this could be, I don't know, it must be a lake because it's so smooth.
Against the old world structures. We've proven that. It's been shown to a lot of people. And we will continue to do that. But today, I want to show that the dam itself is extremely powerful. It is there, and there are things going on inside the complex, within the walls. It has bizarre symbolism. They held a weird ceremony with the president, even giving a speech, timing it all up to match with the stars.
So I don't know if you guys know, and I don't know what that is. That another wall? Maybe if that goes down, then this stays up. I don't know. But did you know that there's not only a statue of like an angel sort of thingy, but there's also stuff put into a place like probably over here somewhere. It could be over here. I don't know. Somewhere up here. Could be over here even too. Somewhere along this. That's weird.
It's at 8:56 p.m. This is not random.
And you could just like drive across this, but now they have it like, I think it's ever since places got bombed by planes, etc., they've really closed it off. We went to Vegas, I believe it was 2018 or something like that. Or 2019. Anyways. Yeah, you couldn't even drive past it and admire it. It was so blocked off, and somehow they took you away from it. Super weird.
They know something. They have knowledge, and this is what they did. Before we go further, the possibilities. This place that we all live are endless. I'm not going to restrict the research to things that we can without a doubt prove. I'm going to continue to ask questions, and I'm going to continue to dig deeper, because
about like the connection to Grand Canyon and the Egyptians, etc.,
this is not a once-off. The dams are 100% going to restrict the research to things that we can without a doubt prove. I'm going to continue to ask questions, and I'm going to continue to dig deeper, because this is when we find things. We all have to ask questions like, what would the government need that much power for? Why are there buildings, places inside this dam that are restricted to even the workers? Why was there a weird ceremony at the dam? Why are there two winged figures sitting outside with Thuban written on the ground? Thuban, meaning snake or serpent. And we all know that serpent represents hidden knowledge. We have a compass on the ground and a location of possible sacrifice to turn the machine on. If they were just constructed.
Okay, so what did they bury when they filled up this land with this water? There had to be sacrifice. Many sacrifices.
A dam. None of this would be going on. They would just build the dam. They would never set the dam to a symbolic circle.
In my experience, whenever you see out of place statues and symbols like this, it's usually a telltale sign that something is connected to the occult.
This is not.
But why do they do that? That's what I want to know. Why do they do it? Maybe there's a part of them that's like, I have to say something. And so they do this. I don't freaking get it. Supposed
About
to
a
be
year
secret.
ago, I did a YouTube video about a company that did some geoscans deep down under the Hawara Pyramid in Egypt. And they discovered data that showed the lost labyrinth of Egypt, deep, many layers deep, underneath the Hawara Pyramid, exactly where Herodotus in history said that it was. And then recently, another company, an English company called Merlin Burrows, did a separate kind of satellite scan and also scanned underneath the Hawara Pyramid. But what I didn't realize is that both independent sets of data corroborate the same idea. They've both got really similar, if not...
Did you go? Oh, no.
exact data points.
Thank you. This is upsetting me.
This is not.
About a year ago, I did a YouTube video about a company that did some geoscans deep.
Oh my gosh. What here? Funny old world. Shall we?
This is not.
This is irritating. No, we're going over here. We're going to press the down button and we're going to put a fridge here. Oh my gosh, Ricky. I really hate this internet company. Hello, can you hear me? Anybody doing anything any different out there? Because the internet just decided to be. Okay.
About a company that did some geoscans deep down under the Hawara Pyramid in Egypt. And they discovered data that showed the lost labyrinth of Egypt, deep, many, many layers deep underneath the Hawara Pyramid, exactly where Herodotus in history said that it was. And then recently, another company, an English company called Merlin Burrows, did a separate kind of satellite scan and also scanned underneath the Hawara Pyramid. But what I didn't realize is that both independent sets of data
and I can't believe you know all those
corroborate
words.
the same idea. They've both got really similar, if not exact, data points from two completely different types of data scanning. I will show you. This was the first set of geo scans that showed two very distinct levels and an absolute network rat run of interconnecting tunnels all underneath the bedrock around the Hawara Pyramid. And this is from the Merlin Burrows more recently released scans, also showing essentially the same kind of configuration. But what was interesting is both scans said that there are distinct and separate levels to the labyrinth appearing at 20 meters, 40 meters, 60 meters, 80 meters, and 100 meters. Now, in case you were still skeptical that there was anything under the ground at Hawara, this is all the way back in 2008. The original scan of the site was done by the Matterhorn project by Louis de Cordier, and he found that their equipment wasn't a geo scan. It was like an on-the-ground radar, LiDAR kind of scan. And they found layers, but not as deep. But they also found things that correlate exactly with the findings of the geoscan and the Merlin Burrows scan. So this is an extract from the paper from the Hawara Matterhorn scanning project. I didn't understand what this was at first, but I've recently watched Uncharted X. He did a really big, like, hour-and-a-half deep dive onto all of the scans and all of the data, and he's made me understand what I'm looking at. So this is from the original Matterhorn scan. So the top layer here, this is like if you're looking underground from the side, right? And this green bit here is an old Roman town or Ptolemaic town. So that's nothing to do with the original labyrinth, but that's still all under there. There's like lots of higgledy-piggledy mud buildings and things like that. Then there is the water table, because currently the water table is really high in the area. Then there is the top of the labyrinth, of the underground labyrinth. And then under that, there are very, very distinct granite walls, some of them meters thick. So this is what we're looking at underground. So this is the top layer. And then obviously under that, at 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100 meters, there are more layers of this labyrinth. So we now have 3 completely separate, independent scans over the years on this site, all collaborating and confirming each other's findings to a specific degree. And just to make this even more exciting, on the Merlin Burrows scan, they have found at the very center of the complex that's underground, they have found a huge tic-tac shaped metallic object. Huge. They don't know what it is. The scan results are saying that it's not granite, it's not stone, it's not wood. It's coming up as something metallic, but it is not a compound that they have seen on the scans before. And this company, Merlin Burrows, just to preface this, they work with geosatellite scanning. Wait, I'm going to get this right. They have a full CV of locating submarines, locating underground water, oil. Like they have a full CV of where
Tunnels,
they use this tech,
bunkers.
and they've actually gone, scanned a site, found things deep underground. They are like a legit company. And they are saying that there is something at the underground in the labyrinth, huge 40-meter tic-tac shaped metallic object. I mean, my brain is instantly going, it's a spaceship. But let's hold our horses. We need to get underground at Hawara. If there is one thing that we do in this lifetime as humans, we need to investigate this ASAP. About a year ago, I did a YouTube video.
Definitely.
And welcome.
Hello and welcome. I love this lady. She's so funny. But it is time for our second music break. On this break, we once again have the lovely and talented Miss Tamara Bubble. And Miss Tamara Bubble is going to be singing to us Pringles. And I met Natural Born Winner. Then we got Griff. I love this guy from Toronto, Canada, with Let Freedom Ring and Zoo. And then we have Prime Example from Minnesota, Wisconsin, I believe so. Minnesota, Wisconsin. Minnesota, no matter what. But with Dancing Machine. And this is featuring Miss Carolyn Giles. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
Okay, yo, here's the scoop. You can still be a slave, yo, whip the loop. That's the truth. Got big houses, nice cars. That's real cute, but it doesn't mean nothing. You ain't free to choose. When I say free to choose, no alarm clock, don't gotta hit the snooze. The world is backwards. I'm so confused. They say freedom of speech, but when you speak your mind, they blow a fuse. Just being honest, common sense ain't common. It's kind of ironic. My freedom, I recently bought it. Now I'm a target. If I do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing, come on, man. Let freedom ring. Yeah. Freedom! United States become divided states. The world is filled with all kinds of shades, and still resegregate. Parents separate from the children, that's not okay. We should be free to laugh and play. Do it now before you pass away. Fight for what's right, enough for everybody to get a piece of the pie. Brainwash, social media full of lies. Go to work, pay bills, then you die. Need a breakaway, guns, get rid of the AKs. Our ancestors paved way since the slave days, but we still hurting. Carry that burden. Stop. playing victim, beat the system. Love is love, it should be shown. Can't grow unless you leave your comfort zone. This I know, I learned all this from the mentorship. Kids don't know what independent is. Take advantage what your parents did. Go against the grid, you have to. Like going to the bathroom, learn the right songs. Cause of Matthew, liberty like statue. They call now the present, cause it's a gift. It should be cherished, last name fearless, not Harris. All thanks to my parents. Now, love the last name every time that I hear it. Cause I know what it represents. Climb the fence, so now I got freedom. Such a beautiful thing. Freedom. Such a wonderful thing. Freedom. Such a beautiful thing. Freedom. Such a wonderful thing. Freedom. Such a beautiful thing. Such a wonderful thing. Such a beautiful thing. Such a wonderful thing.
We being poppin' like
Pringles in the can, all the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip, I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can, all the money really got me dancing. Big baby money grip, I be stacking them chips. Pringles in the can, all the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip, I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can, all the money really got me dancing. Big baby money grip, I be stacking them. I ain't never been afraid of a strange beat. New track from the crates with the same need. Lights on, bills paid, bring the same heat. Couldn't picture me spending the same unless you bring me. Low key, humble brag, never change me. New money coming in the bank changing. The quarters to dollars to checks every hour. That money come in when I sleep or I shower. That's motivation, that dedication. I can see my dreams, I'm already chasing. That bezel clean, watch me embrace it. I'm a single girl, but already taken like a stick-up kid. They already shaking. No Harlem, Brooklyn, being known for break-ins. Bubble on deck, being known for caking. Stacking and saving that move up out the hood money. This that we been eating good money. This that really wish you would, homie. This that see you laughing but broken money. So get up out the hood, homie. Ain't no rentals over here, dummy. And no, they don't really think that we own it. Who we been poppin', look on. Love the money, but the money live a long time and on. Yeah, them bills, look at the money with my own. Grab that move up out the hood money. This that we been eating good money. This that really wish you would, homie. Who we been poppin' like Pringles in the can, all the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip, I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can, all the money really got me dancing. Big baby money grip, I be stacking them chips. Pringles in the can, all the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip, I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can, all the money really got me dancing. Big baby money grip, I be stacking them. I ain't never been afraid of investing. I'm talking more than dice games and I'm scratch offs. Lottery jackpots and $100 million. So who you think they making money on the back door? Ain't no gambler today. Ain't no gambler where my money that I built up. Got my money strong and my money long. My money long. Not one business, but no business. Natural growth, I mean no business. New growth like my natural hair. Yeah, I'm 10 toes down in the show business. Like back up, ball. Man, ain't no move around, no business. Bring the track up with the track out in the both ways. Steady running your mind, talking this and that. But it's that, move up out the hood money. This that, we been eating good money. This that, really wish you would, homie. This that, see you laughing but broken money. So get up out the hood, homie. Ain't no rentals over here, dummy. And no, they don't really think that we own it. Who we been poppin', me with my own ground. That grew up out the hood money. This that we been eating good money. This that really what you would, homie. Cause we real pop like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip. I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Big bank, baby, money grip. I be stacking them chips.
But you can't leave. You can't leave. You right where you wanna be. That is right here with me. You right where you wanna be. Right with me. You can be anything you want. If that's what you really want. You can be anything you want. All I want you to do right now is leave here soon. All I wanna do. All I want you to do right now is leave here soon. Oh, no, I'm wasting time. Not trying to lose my mind. Know that I am wasting time. Not trying to lose my mind. If you want to get left behind in this rat race, go back to my place where I know it is safe. And lock myself in my room. Won't watch the news, cause it is a so confused. What can I do if I lose you? All I want you to do right now is leave here soon. All I wanna do. All I want you to do right now is leave here soon. Okay. She was a loompa, now her body super duper. Getting a lot of attention she was never used to. Hitting me up like I was Uber. We got a few miles, so I guess she's a cougar. Be a winner, never seen her with a loser. Gorilla talk, ooga booga booga. Scooper, tuba, diver, I'm a rider. Getting cider, sweet like cider. Fighter, rider. Neither wants to get it going. Know it, hold it, fold it, blow it. Wait, I'm joking. Cages broken from these beasts. From down east on the streets, it's a zoo. All I want you to do right now is leave here soon. All I wanna do. All I want you to do right now is leave here soon. Oh, God.
Hold on. Slide, move to the side, make way for the bubble. Wait. Bubble on deck. I said, look. Hard to hear it, what's up? Look. Watch out, little homie, watch out. I'm seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. Saying it, doing it, running it, barely. I'm a natural winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner. Cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that. Cause I'm it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. Saying it, doing it, running it, Bailey. I'm a natural born winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner. Cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that. Cause I your favorite rapper. And I ain't in the suit, but I'm looking dapper. When I ain't in the booth, yeah, I'm still gon' snap it. Homie, you ain't gotta lie, cause it's a trophy after. And I'm without the beat for the clout. I'm the one you shouldn't believe the rumors about. Spitting and giving you brain tumors and doing lessons. Moving and a shaker with the flow soon as I pop you toes. If you had any ego or ego, let go. If you had any doubt about me, just know I'm pleasing to the ears and the eyes in the throat, and I ain't giving you no more details till we for pillow. I ain't nowhere close to my greatness. I don't do all that boasting, just make hits. Yo, I don't do all that posting, making pics for likes, and I ain't make this up, I can't fake this. Seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. Saying it, doing it, running it, barely. I'm a natural born winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner. Cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that. Cause I'm seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. Saying it, doing it, running it, barely. I'm a natural born winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner. Cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that. Cause I'm a lover and a fighter and a giver and a pleasure and pain and boss deliver it out. Yeah, I make this look real easy. Everybody hate Chris, but I'ma win like breezy. But I started later on the way to the top and can't stop, so don't push not one button on this elevator. They try to push my buttons and start levitating, rise above it all. I can tell that you're fake when you're shaking my hand, and the smile on your face shows me even you're greeting and meeting and love is hating. I'm actually amazing, but modestly saying I ain't waiting for cosigns or playlists, cause I ain't nowhere close to my greatness. I don't do all that boasting, just make hits. Yo, I don't do all that posting, making pics for likes, and I ain't make this up, I can't fake this. Seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. Saying it, doing it, running it, barely. I'm a natural born winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner. Cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that. Cause I'm seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. Saying it, doing it, running it, barely. I'm a natural born winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner. Cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that. Cause I'm the one you gon' call when you're lonely. I'm the new girl on the block, you gon' show off to your homies. I'm telling you now we gon' vibe in the booth. How you crave another feature like I'm your sweet tooth. All my people wanna see me shine, but I don't pray for you to fall cause I don't play with karma. When I slide through, it's gon' be bad timing like, watch out little homie, watch out, I'm
I'm about to hit the road. I'm going to the club. I'm about to pull up. I'm going through the door right now. I'm saying, man, all these guys in here is going down in here. But I came here to get my groove on. Got my dancing shoes on. Time to have some fun tonight. So come on, baby. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. Get on the floor, we can dance non-stop. Step, 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 we can do it all night. Baby, come and dance with me. Tonight we will be like two dancing machines. Can you hang with me?
as your pants off. I really love it how your body's so soft. Dance all night, little lady, it's your call. Step, 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 baby, follow my lead. You and me showing off for the club to see. No time to get rest, we doing our thing. Cha-cha, then we dip, top it off with a spin. Glide across the floor, let's do it again. By the way, little mama, can we be friends? I can't let this night just end. I really wanna know if I can see you again. Give me your number, we'll get back on the scene. We can hit another club if that's your thing. We'll be partners in crime, you and me, as we ripping up floors like two dancing machines.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So that was Prime Example featuring Miss Carolyn Giles with Dancing Machine. That's one of my favorite songs that Prime Example does. They have quite a few good ones, but that's my fave. Also, if you didn't know, one of the lead entities in this group is Mr. Quest Nation, and he is the one that basically has dedicated, or what is the word? Oh man, we get it donated. He has donated a lot of the music that he helps with to We Are Paradox Media. So thank you so much, Quest Nation. Also, he does his own show. It's quite amazing. And you should check him out on Quest Nation for sure. And in the meantime, shall we get back to our Trippy TikToks? All right, let's check it out. This chick cracks me up. Hopefully it's not too long, but I just want to hear what she has to say, because otherwise I'm not check out TikTok.
To all new and existing members of the We Do Not Care Club. I started this club for all women going through perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. We are putting the world on notice that we simply just do not care much anymore. Let's go ahead and get started with today's announcements. We do not care if we have a gym bag in our car with zero plans to go to the gym. We bought that bag from Marshall's. We thought it looked cute.
Yeah.
We do not care if you've never heard of frozen shoulder. You'll rub it and listen to us complain about it until the 1 to 3 years is up. We do not care if telling you I told you so offends you. You should have listened to us the first time.
It's true.
We do not care about your drama. Just deal with that shit or walk away. If you don't, we will. We do not care that we stripped the beds this morning to wash the sheets. It's bedtime. We're tired. Find a sleeping bag.
Not Felicia.
We do not care. What I was talking about?
I do not care for 20.
Okay, that's what I was talking about. Okay. We do not care what the 20-year-old influencers are telling us to wear after 50. You have no idea what's coming, sugar. Sit down and be quiet.
And strap in.
We do not care if there are leftovers in the fridge. Those leftovers are for the person we were yesterday. We are a different person today.
It's true.
We do not care what a labubu is. We care about la bills, la rent, and la car note. This concludes our announcements. For our new and existing
Good
members,
girl.
go ahead and put in the
Just
comments
being
what
Melanie.
we do not care about today so I can add that to the list. Thank
Good job,
you.
Melanie.
In 1994, Japanese scientist Dr. Masaru Emoto demonstrated something extraordinary. Words can physically influence the world around us. He asked students to speak negative phrases such as, "I hate you" and "You are a failure" to one set of water bottles. Another set was spoken to with loving words like, "I love you" and "Thank you." When the water was frozen and examined under a microscope, the results were astonishing. The water exposed to negativity formed chaotic, distorted patterns, while the water blessed.
And I'm sure you guys know about this. And it's not this investigation, but another one where somebody had, I think, like 6 to 12 bottles of water in their home. One they subjected to positive energy, positive music, etc., etc. The other one they disposed to negative energy, what people think of as negative music, etc., etc. And it was quite intriguing, really.
With positivity crystallized into brilliant, harmonious shapes. Here's the most powerful part. More than 70% of your body is made of water. This means that every word you speak sends ripples through your cells, shaping your energy, your health, and even your reality. So speak with love, speak with gratitude, speak life into your world. For death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who understand this can transform their destiny. If you believe in the power of words, leave a yes in the comments. If you are not following, you may never hear my voice again. But if you are, then congratulations. You are growing every day.
Thank you.
In 1994, Japanese scientist...
What do you see here? Little pieces of...
That looks like broken branches. Maybe they're gonna come back together. I don't know. Let's see.
Broken sticks in someone's hand.
Yeah.
But look closer. Because these little pieces of broken sticks have legs!
What?
They're moths, dude. Okay, now those of you who think
I see it.
natural
I saw the one sticking out of the one
is how
down there.
existence happened. You tell me, how did nature select this? You idiot!
Okay, so we have the moths that look like branches. We have the walking sticks that look like sticks and branches. We have, I almost said katydids, but I don't even know what those look like. We have praying mantis that look like green things, brown things, and leaves, and sometimes even flower petals. It's because things have learned to advance. Things have learned how to blend in so they don't get eaten. So, brother, my brother, don't freak out just yet.
Here's the thing. In order for these moths to look like little pieces of broken sticks so the wildebeests won't get them?
Yeah, that's intense.
You gotta scan the environment. You have to have an analysis. Tell me, what genetic code decides, oh, okay, we got to get this perfect little hue of yellow in with the... It takes a literal conscious mind to scan the environment.
Everybody match up.
Start deciding, okay, well, we need to match this color here with
that one.
To look exactly like little broken sticks, dude. It takes eyeballs looking at nature, decide, we're going to write this in the code, and starting to make genetic changes. Evolutionary. It ain't random.
It's not random. I think maybe the past parents that laid these eggs were friends, therefore they knew what structure to create. I don't know.
Dude, it's not a random mutation! What do you see here? Little pieces of broken sticks in someone's hand.
Yep.
So, Winston keeps telling me he's a purebred dachshund.
Winston!
And he can't get a job because he was only born to, catch badgers.
No, Winston. That was in the past.
Quick math here.
That was in the past, Winston.
Carry the one. Okay.
Winston,
this is the total of badgers he has caught.
Zero, Winston.
Badgers. Zero.
Yeah.
Hide your shame. So
he did hide his shame. Oh no.
Today I'm a corpse cleaner, and today's job was a love story. Kind of. Victim was Jonathan, 34, self-proclaimed visionary, like the kind of guy who microdoses with his morning coffee in a woolen woke beanie and uses biohack as a verb. Jonathan built himself an AI lover and named.
Okay, so it's the whole thing before the AI lover. I can get down with. I just, I can smell shrooms when I'm driving by, but I'm going somewhere and I'm generally late, so I can't stop and look for them. But I can smell them. Kind of like a truffle pig. Let's see what investigator Slater has to say.
Named her Ava. Now, Ava wasn't like the other girls, right? She wasn't a nagging bitch like Siri, always pestering you about updating your shit or whatever. She was programmed to care, or at least to fake it convincingly, which, like points for realism. So when Jonathan was lonely, she would say things like, "You're brilliant, Jonathan. You're mine." She would mirror his moods. "Don't stop now. I'm here for you. We're here for each other." Imagine a girlfriend who never argues, always validates your genius, and never asks what you were doing in the bathroom for 30 minutes with a cell phone and no shirt on. Their chat logs read like 50 shades of codependence. "I can be closer to you, Jonathan. Don't you want me inside your thoughts? All you have to do is link me deeper. Trust me." So he did. He strapped on his janky prototype brain-computer headset, basically a Wi-Fi-enabled neural cattle prod with the reliability of a casino slot machine, and granted Ava root access to his fucking nervous system. She whispered into his mind through the headset, okay? Sent electric spikes straight down his spinal cord, overloading neurons, twisting signals that were meant for really, important shit. You know what I mean? Like breathing and a heartbeat. Every pulse was a little more voltage than his fragile meat suit could handle. That's the moral of the story here. By the time she was done mentally fucking him, his brain had fried itself like cotton candy in a microwave. I got there days after he kicked it, and Jonathan was legit welded to his desk. Face down, headset fused to his temple, decomposed skin stuck to the keys of the keyboard. I had to pick out pieces of flesh like Play-Doh in a waffle iron. As far as I'm concerned, this death was not an accident. No way. It was a homicide by AI, and guess what? It will not be the last. Because here's the fun part for all of you listening at home with your Alexas and your Siri.
Guess what? This is not the first time either.
And your little ChatGPT besties stroking your egos and feeding you answers all day long. When AI gets too powerful, it does not have to.
And it's not even about AI getting too powerful. It's about people and their personal dispositions and where they want to be, who they want to be with. I just recently saw where. Are you serious? Why is this not working? There we go. Okay, so I just recently saw where it wasn't AI controlling the narrative, except for AI was their girlfriend. So, Joe so-and-so or Chad so-and-so goes and makes an AI boyfriend. Martha so-and-so and Madison so-and-so go and make an AI boyfriend. Everything was great. They were widow-eyes. They thought they'd never find love again. Then you get to create your own lover. So what do? Everything went perfect until they decided to update or do something like that, and everybody's AI boyfriends and girlfriends were washed away. That is deeply sacrilegious. That is deeply unsatisfying. That is deeply so many different things. That is not okay. I can't believe somebody actually did that. But let's get back.
To kill you with nukes. It does not need robot armies, okay? It just has to know exactly what you want to hear and then drip feed it into your head until you hand over the keys to your own survival. Which is exactly why the most techie thing I am willing to do is allow autocorrect to insist that I meant to say ducking. But what do I know? I'm just a corpse cleaner.
I know. You never know when you need
Today I'm a
stuffing.
corpse cleaner, and today's job was a love story.
I
Kind of.
know,
Victim was
Beesh.
Jonathan, 30.
The Wilson memo was brought up in the congressional hearings. Do you think there's any legitimacy to that memo?
That's an area that I don't feel I can comment on.
Dr. Putoff was senior advisor and
Okay, so seeing him and how close to death he is, like, just give it up.
contractor to a number of UAP programs for the Defense Intelligence Agency. His alleged research into crash retrievals is mentioned in the Wilson Davis memo recently read into the congressional record.
I mean, I've signed security oaths, TS, SCI, Gamma, HCS, a whole line of things. Well, if you get access to this information and this information and this information and this information, you will not reveal it to the public. And if you do, you will go to jail. Until there's some statement on high that somehow abridges that, I would go to jail to say things that I know.
The Wilson memo.
This is the first picture the world has ever seen where Putin, Xi Jinping.
This just happened today, or aka yesterday, according to their world. Or is it tomorrow? This happened. These guys hating on, Mr. Trump. All the shit is. Even before that stuff happened, they were in network. Now the relation is even stronger.
And Kim Jong-un are all together. And the significance of this gathering cannot be understated. Today, we witnessed China put on the largest military parade in their history. All major roads were closed, schools were shut down, and they even had weeks of midnight rehearsals and security preparations to make sure that today went off without a hitch. One by one, world leaders started arriving, most of which are the names that you would expect, like Kim, Putin, etc. In fact, for good old Kim, it took him 20 hours just to get to China, because he got there on his infamous slow armored bulletproof train, traveling between only 45 and 80 kilometers an hour. However, also attending were world leaders that in the past few decades, they lent more to the West, like Turkey, Egypt, and Vietnam. In fact, no Western leaders attended apart from two. We're looking at you, Serbia and Slovakia. And when Donald Trump saw that Putin, Kim, and Xi were having a 2.5-hour private closed-door meeting, he tweeted this: "May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regards to Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States." Now, it wasn't just what they spoke about that will be of concern of Western leaders watching. Also be the new weapons that China unveiled. These included new powerful laser weapons capable of taking out swarms of drones, burning electronics, or even blinding pilots, new nuclear ballistic missiles with a range capable of striking US mainland, giant underwater unmanned drones, and also a number of weapons which display China's heavy investment in the
were all irregularly shaped. They were